What's this?
I'm hearing this story more and more. People are fed up. Bring that orange fella back. ASAP.
So, like many Americans, up until recently, I did not care about politics. Quite honestly, I didn't even vote until 2020. Um, I've ended friendships over views that are just not okay. Why do I
Oh,
have
is
a
this
college
like
degree
the
and I make
whole
decent money
not seeing your
and I'm living with
family
family?
because
I can't
you
afford
voted
groceries,
for
I can't
Trump?
afford my car payment, I can't afford anything. My parents have to help me, quite honestly, and I'm gonna be 30 years old. I really want to know, this is my question for the people that think that this country is okay. What are you watching? What algorithm are you on to think that this country is okay? What job do you have? What do your bills look like? What is your income? Like, I really want to know, because I am just lost. I am so confused.
I'm hearing this story more and more. People.
Ooh.
Let's take a closer look at the OQ2535WC from Philips, which is a 32-bit multiplexer intended for Sonnet applications.
Look, do you know what this person is doing? Well, after you've used a cutting board for
Shit, I didn't get water. What the fuck? 3D printed potato can? What the fuck kind of potato can is that? Jesus fuck.
Let's have a look at the truck.
Here is how a tiny mistake can cause fatal.
Let's have a look at the truck itself.
If that hits you in the face, your skull might be caved in. Just saying. Trump calls to clean out Gaza and move Palestinians to Egypt and Jordan. President Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One Saturday that he wants Jordan and Egypt to take Palestinians from Gaza into their territory temporarily or long term. Since the start of the war in Gaza, Egypt and Jordan have led the Arab world's opposition to any forced transfer by Israel of Palestinians from Gaza. Trump on Saturday spoke on the phone with Jordan's King Abdullah, who congratulated him on his inauguration. King Abdullah stressed the pivotal role of the U.S. in pushing all sides to work towards achieving peace, security, and stability for all in the region, the Jordanian royal court said in a statement. But Trump said the two leaders discussed an entirely different topic. The millions of Gaza Palestinians who live in Jordan and the possibility that that more will move there from Gaza. I said to him, I'd love you to, because I'm looking to the whole guy. It's a mess, real mess. He had a plan to speak to Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Sunday and ask him to accept Palestinians from Gaza. You're talking about 1.5 million people and we just clean out that whole thing, Trump said. This is literally a demolition site. Almost everything is demolished and people are dying there. So I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing at a different location where they can maybe live in peace for a change. The absorption of Palestinian refugees in Jordan after the 1948 war, some of them forcibly displaced by Israel, became one of the most significant events in the history of the kingdom. Egypt, meanwhile, sees the transfer of Palestinians from Gaza to its territory as a threat to national security. At the beginning of the war, when Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu raised this idea, Sisi made it clear that such a move would jeopardize the peace agreement between Israel and Egypt. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. Gaza deal. Apparently there was more hostages being released today. All federal agencies ordered to terminate remote work ideally within 30 days. So this was his executive order on Monday. Making all employees go back to work. Right. Federal employees. Is this really worth it? National embarrassment. If you want to read this article. No, I'm not gonna read it. It's kind of like whatever. I'm not a federal fucking employee, so why the fuck should I care? Man accused of helping son hide 4 bodies in Wisconsin cornfield, sentenced to 16 years in prison. Yeah. Minnesota man Darren Osborne was sentenced. Was sentenced to 16 years in prison for helping his son hide 4 bodies in a Wisconsin cornfield, and as stated by online court records. Dunn County Circuit Judge James Peterson sentenced Osborne after a jury found him guilty of 4 counts of hiding a corpse in October. Holy shit. Osborne's son, Antoine Suggs. His name is Antoine Suggs. Shot 4 victims after a night of drinking in St. Paul in September 2021. Jesus fuck, dude. What the fuck? Suggs was convicted and sentenced to 103 years in prison for the murders, while Osborne will serve his sentences concurrently, according to court records. Fucking name is Suggs. God damn it. Contributed to the concealment of the victims' bodies, and why did he choose to represent himself in court? Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Darren Osborne has actually contributed to concealment of the victims' bodies of following his son, Antoine Suggs, to a Dunn County cornfield where the bodies were left in Suggs' Mercedes-Benz SUV and the vehicle was abandoned. Yeah. Nice way to lead it back to you. Okay. Yeah. You gotta love criminals. They do stupid shit. Osborne chose to represent himself in court because 3 attorneys who represented him in the Wisconsin case withdrew. Oh, well, I mean, probably because he kept fucking firing them. The dude was probably being unreasonable, and then he just kept firing them. I mean, the attorneys are trying their best to do what they can for your case, but who knows? What happened to the victims, and how were their bodies discovered? Victims: Jasmine Sturm, Matthew Pettis, Lois Foreman the third. Jesus. He's the 3rd generation. Natasha Presley were shot by Antoine Suggs following a night of drinking. Their bodies were concealed in Suggs' abandoned SUV and discovered by a farmer in the cornfield. The discovery led to the investigation and eventually conviction of both Darren Osborne and Anton Suggs. Fucking Suggs. What were the motives of Anton Suggs, according to the prosecutors? Prosecutors argued that Anton Suggs' motives were unclear, as he claimed self-defense, believing the victims were going to rob him. However, they contended that he had the intent to kill them. Suggs was convicted and sentenced to 103 years in prison for his actions. Is there a body cam footage of this? Oh no, they just show his when he was charged and shit. Oh. Suggs raw body. This was 7 years ago. Hold on. What? Let me.
Let me see your hands!
Oh man. There's some screaming in the back. That didn't sound too good.
On today's episode,
I was just making sure. There was nothing. It was just officers running to the area and then right hearing the screams. Oh. Probably not. There we go. But yeah, there we go. On to the next. Trump cities voter ID water flow as conditions for LA wildfire aid. Fuck you. President Donald Trump stated 2 conditions for federal aid to California new voter identification laws and changes to water policy. Trump claimed that the voter ID is necessary because the people don't have a voice. Because you don't know who's voting. It's very corrupt. The people don't have a voice. Because you don't know who's voting. It's very corrupt. Very corrupt indeed. California Governor Newsom, deputy directors said Trump's claims about water policies are misinformation and emphasized that conditioned aid is wrong. I mean, you can easily just look up why they don't just allow the water to flow down the fucking north. Trump reiterated his demands for voter ID and free-flowing water while speaking to reporters at the airport. Why won't Gavin Newsom let the water? So the real reason is infrastructure limitations. There's no simple valve or water main that can be opened to send water from the north to the south. Local water availability includes has sufficient water stored for firefighter purposes. Yeah, but that didn't help the Palisades fire and all the other fire. Why was there's no fire? Why wasn't there water in the hydrants? The water pressure issues during the Los Angeles were due to local infrastructure limitations, not a lack of overall water supply. Environmental water management must balance the needs of people, including protected species like the deltas. Existing water transfer systems. California already has systems in place to move water from north to south, but they are subject to various regulations and environmental constraints. The California wildfire could have been contained if the water shortage and fire hydrant during the was not due to government or inactions, but rather to the water system forced demand 4 times higher than normal for about 15 hours, overwhelming the supply. 1 million gallon tanks in Pacific Palace, crucial for maintaining hydrant pressure, couldn't be refilled fast enough to meet the demands. System design limitation. Municipal water system is not designed to handle such LA County Public Director Mark Pastrella. Pressure issues. Water was available in the main lines, but couldn't reach higher elevations due to insufficient pressure. Yeah, because you built the water fucking storage system in a fucked up area. Like, who builds it? Having gravity fucking destroy everything. I don't. Given if the water if the water storage system is how it is and how they like push it out to the other systems, why is there so much why isn't it in a different area? Why do you gotta make it fucking deal with gravity, huh? Because now you gotta deal with you need more pressure to push all that water out. Governor Newsom has been actively working on improving he unveiled update water plant in his state. He's prioritizing infrastructure projects like the Sites Reservoir and the Delta Conveyance project to improve water storage and transport. State has invested $8 billion in strategy to reinforce water. What was the misguided fire suppression policies for a century? Policy was to stop fires as soon as they ignited, resulting in dense forests, excessive brush and dry fuels. Forest density increase. This fire suppression led to a dramatic increase in tree density. For example, in one section of Stanislaus National Forest, tree density, I fucking said that wrong, increased from 19 trees per acre in 1911 to 260 trees per acre over a century later. Resource limitation. Despite efforts, the scale of the problem has outpaced available resources since 2011. CAL FIRE has spent over $600 million on fire prevention and removed nearly 2 million dead trees, but this is still insufficient given the magnitude of the issue. Drought and climate change. These factors have exacerbated the problem. The more stress and dying trees, creating additional fuel for wildfires. Complex permitting process, landowners face difficulties in navigating the regulations for removing trees, which can discourage proactive management. Lack of economic incentives. Until recently, there were limited options for utilizing dead and diseased trees, such as for biomass energy, which could have incentivized their removal. Recent efforts to address this long-standing issue include California's goal to treat 500,000 acres of wildland per year. The target is not yet being met. U.S. Forest Service U.S. 10-year wildfire crisis strategy, which includes the removal of the dead and dying trees in high-risk areas. Increase funding and partnerships between federal, state, and local agencies to accelerate forest health treatment. These current initiatives aim to correct decades of forest mismanagement and reduce wildfires risks in California. And then if we just... This is... Oh, they're using NBC News. Fuck off. I called it an NPC. God damn it. It is avoiding NBC specific, however, they provide valuable insight into fact-checking of reliable news resources. Anyways, there you go. Despite awareness of wildfire risk, the water system was not adequately upgraded for several reasons. Budget constraints, many proposed upgrades were delayed or left unimplemented due to financial limitations. Bureaucratic hurdles, red tape, and government inaction stalled plans for water systems improvements, even those specifically aimed at boosting firefighting capacity. Outdated infrastructure systems designed decades ago are now facing unprecedented demands, especially during large-scale wildfires. Delayed implementation. Many high-priority upgrades identified in 2013 have yet to break ground in fire-affected communities. So this has been a problem since 2013, right? Postponed maintenance, replacement of aging and severely deteriorated water tanks, and upgrades to pumping stations were repeatedly delayed. Long project timelines. Some critical projects like the 1.1 million gallon water tank in Malibu are not scheduled to break ground until 2027. Yikes. Misaligned priorities. Despite the known risks, some infrastructure improvements were left on the drawing board or postponed indefinitely. Lack of urgency. The gravity of the situation did not translate into immediate action, as evidenced by the years-long delays in crucial upgrades. While water agencies have been implementing strategies to meet increasing demands, including infrastructure improvements, and community coordination, these efforts have not kept pace with the growing wildfires risk exacerbated by the climate change. Did you just say climate change? What the fuck did you just say to me? I hate what they did with AI. I hate it. I hate it. Climate change. That's what the climate change. Motherfucker, that's nature if you don't fucking just clean your goddamn forest. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? I fucking hate this. I hate this. Fuck out of here, you fucking robot. Fucking piece of shit. Trump cities, voter ID, water flow. Oh yeah. And there you have it. I still think it's fucking government inaction to blame, to be honest. At the end of the day, it's still government inaction. All the problems that could have been solved if they fucking actually like put people to work in those areas. Like, cause you have to check that shit. Allowed tons of fucking real estate to just get burned down to the fucking ground. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And then you fucking put on that shit-eating grin? Like, get the fuck out of here. Ugh. Musk exploring blockchain use in U.S. government efficiency effort. Elon Musk has initiated conversations about using blockchain technology at the new Department of Government Efficiency, according to people with knowledge of the discussions. Sorry, I said knowledgeable. It's the latest sign of the Trump administration's efforts to bolster the digital asset industry. Is he really doing this? Right, because Trump, what was it? Trump, when he talked about in his speeches, he was all like, "Oh yeah, Elon Musk doesn't like," or well, he didn't really say well, he kind of hinted at it, but he doesn't like someone on the team, right? And we all know who that is. What are the concerns raised by the experts regarding the integration of blockchain technology in government operations? Implementing blockchain technology. For instance, Sam Hammond from the Foundation for American Innovation points out that traditional databases might be sufficient for secure tracking without the potential drawbacks associated with blockchain. Additionally, Campbell Harvey from Duke University's highlights governance issues related to public blockchains, noting the risks of losing control over ledgers, which complicates the management of sensitive government data. Ledgers, basically like the files, right? Keeping track of everything. They don't want, right? They want to lock down those ledgers right? They don't want to make it public in a sense. They're trying to make it private for those who made the handshake transaction deal, right? I think that's what they're talking about. How does the Trump administration stance on cryptocurrency policies relate to Doge initiative? Aligns closely with the Trump emphasis on pro-cryptocurrency, indicating a supportive political environment for such technology integration. Elon Musk's recruitment of around 100 volunteers for development suggests a proactive approach in leveraging these policies to modernize government operations. This connection underlines the administration's broader commitment to exploring innovative technologies like blockchain to improve federal efficiency. What are the main goals of the Doge led by Elon Musk? Doge initiative are to modernize federal operations and cut gov costs through the use of blockchain technology. This includes potential applications such as tracking federal spending, securing sensitive data, processing payments, and managing properties. The initiative aims for a substantial upgrade in how government functions operates, ultimately striving for improved efficiency in federal spending and resource management. There you have it. So, the whole reason why Elon Musk wanted to make Doge was to get into the whole research of blockchain, right? Because there are courses that I'm pretty sure most schools nowadays are having a course on blockchain technology now. It's probably like an elective course or something, I'm guessing. But I'm pretty sure they're starting to try to introduce it in some classes or schools. Because I know for my school right now, they're doing the whole cancer research stuff. Or, well, at least for this year. And I think basically all government institutions are looking into, like, medical stuff, technological advances, right? Stuff like that. So every school's probably going to do a variation of some kind of health research thing. Oh yeah, one of my projects is gonna probably be on cancer research. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I have to see the there's a meeting on Monday, I think. I need to check on. Sorry. Karen Bass. Gerardo Ogiwara hit a 23-40 at the X Games. Whee! Damn, that was kind of clean. Yeah, that was pretty clean, actually. Like, boom. Oop.
You're making me sick, Craig. Oh my!
Like bit. Oh yeah, that was actually pretty fucking clean.
Oh my god, I'm nauseous. 2340.
Yeah, I'd be fucking sick too. He's spinning that much.
You're joking. You're making me sick, Craig.
God damn. That was clean. Anyways. Karen Bass, I haven't done everything to expedite the rebuilding of LA. I heard 18 months to clear debris. No. That's what they're telling me. No way. And you can hold me to that. Yeah, she did. Yeah. Maybe we should. I did watch part of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I came on like halfway through it. I didn't watch the beginning. I know that Trump was fucking chewing some of these people out, that's for sure.
And we are 100% committed to getting this neighborhood rebuilt again. You mentioned a couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape. We could get people back building as fast as possible. And we're going to continue doing that.
Yeah, the one thing is they are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
that
you're
will
right.
Not, you can hold me to it.
There's 4 groups said that.
No.
That would be they should be able to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
That will not be the case. You know first. And we are 100% committed to getting this neighborhood rebuilt again. You mentioned a couple of things in terms of...
Oh, whoops. Oh, keep fucking... yeah.
Working to get that pad ready for reconstruction. What we know from experience, and Colonel's on the line too, he can answer this. We working to get that pad ready for reconstruction. What we know from experience, and Colonel's on the line too, he can answer this. We know that the first phase will take some time. Phase 1 will take up to 3 months, maybe even longer, 6 months to get the toxics off. At the same time that is occurring, we'll be coming behind you with the process of debris removal, get the toxics off. Even longer, 6 months to get the toxics off. At the same.
So 3 to 6 months to get the toxic stuff out of there, because as of right now, there's a bunch of like toxic right? You got like you got like a bunch of ash, right? You got a bunch of burnt down like metal and like chemicals that were right in homes, right? You had people who had like a bunch of cleaning products and stuff like that, probably that got right up in chemical flames and stuff like that. You got to watch out with a lot of that stuff too. Oh yeah, so you don't know what kind of you got a lot of toxins and you got to be careful.
Same time that is occurring, we'll be coming behind you with the process of debris removal. The debris removal can take up to 18 months, Supervisor. And I'm going to stop there because I want to make sure everybody hears that clearly. I know we want to set expectations, and I said at the beginning, I'm going to tell you what I know when I know it.
Okay.
Right now,
sorry.
The debris removal can take up to 18 months, Supervisor, with the process of debris removal.
So 3 to 6 months.
Debris removal. Maybe even longer, 6 months to get the toxics off.
3 to 6 months. Or just the toxic removal stuff. And then he said another 18 months.
We'll be coming behind you with the process of debris removal.
For the debris removal.
Can take up to 18 months.
Right, and they would be doing it as soon as they clear up some toxic stuff. All the toxic as they're cleaning up the toxic stuff, they'll probably start getting in there with the cleaning, with the cleaning team. But yeah, that's gonna. Oh fuck.
Supervisor.
That's a long time.
And I'm gonna stop there because I want to make sure everybody hears that clearly. I know we want to set expectations, and I said at the beginning, I'm going to tell you what I know when I know it.
Okay.
Right now,
sorry.
Working to get that.
Yeah, right there. Oh shit! There's a storm it's raining right now. Trump Masterclass right here. Oh, after all the rain, or after all the fires, now it's raining? Karen Basta asks, he doesn't hold back on her because he knows she is lying to him. He always cuts her right off when she starts to say she will need his resources. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. You tell her to fuck off. You tell her to fucking move her ass. You tell her to move her ass, and if she doesn't, she's fired. You're fired. You're so very fired. Get the fuck out. Thank you, President Trump, for coming to Los Angeles to help us rebuild. We are grateful for your partnership. I probably shouldn't do that. I might get ejected. I might ruin my reputation for saying that. Baz for lying. Her mic muted on live TV. Newsom desperately begs forgiveness. Wait, what? Oh, this is just someone streaming on X, I think. Kingdom Reacts. Only posted 3-second clip of the press conference she did with President about the fires. Wait, really? Ha. And the presser, Trump chastised her on prohibitions for residents to begin cleanup for her property. Yeah, that was weird. Why was there I mean, I get there's like the whole toxic waste thing, but yeah, I don't. They are allowed to. The health officer issued an order prohibiting cleanup or removal of fire debris at fire damaged and burned properties located in critical fire areas until a hazardous material Oh. That's there it is. Why can't you why don't you let the homeowners check it out themselves? I mean, you already had people like go in there and check it out. Yeah, it's really strange. I don't know. How long it would take to do a hazmat in all of these properties? Yeah. Literally. That would take so long. And given how the bureaucracy is so fucking slow. Right? Fuck that, dude. You've revealed yourself to be incompetent and embarrassed Californians. Please resign and give us a chance to recover from the damage you've caused. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Has taken her at her word and posted on ex-homeowners could start hiring to have their property cleaned. Show the part where they physically remove her microphone. Oh yeah, she definitely wants to take Trump's money. That's the only reason why she was all like, "Yeah, please help us." It's like, get the fuck out of here. Honestly, you should not give any of that money to her. Right? You should hand it to someone else. Right? Someone who's actually gonna give it to people that actually fucking need it, because she's not gonna do her job. That's for sure. That's for fucking sure. You will not do her job. She's fucking scum of the earth, just like New Scum. Those people are just fucking... used car salesmen, snake oil, right, dealers. Fuck them. You go to hell.
A former
CBI scientist Missy Woods accused of mishandling DNA, charged with 102 felonies. And that's for fucking with court cases.
State forensic scientist is now facing dozens of criminal charges after she was accused of manipulating data in more than 1,000 cases. Yvonne Missy Woods is in Jefferson County Jail tonight facing 102 felonies.
In September 2023, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation found irregularities in her work impacting hundreds of criminal cases that date back decades.
Investigative reporter Natalie Chuck has been combing through the court documents that reveal some very serious allegations, Natalie.
Yeah, Shannon and Jessica, and allegations that, if they are true, could have impacted investigations into murder, sex assault, robbery, and more, spanning a total of 15 years. The arrest affidavit paints a thorough picture of exactly how investigators believe Woods impacted cases. And for the first time, we are getting a glimpse into what exactly Woods told investigators as they questioned her about her handling of DNA data. A forensic scientist trusted with testifying in cases against Colorado's accused criminals for decades, now facing criminal charges herself. Yvonne Missy Woods.
Fucking Colorado? Holy shit, dude. God damn. I wonder what kind of fucking court cases she fucked with. Holy fuck.
Previously employed by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, is facing 102 felony charges. She is accused of committing a cybercrime, perjury, 48 counts of attempting to influence a public servant, and 52 counts of forgery. This arrest affidavit reveals investigators believe Woods input data values showing either no or little DNA was present in samples, manipulated data in sexual assault cases to make it seem no male DNA evidence
What the fuck?
was found when some was, and concealed any testing contamination.
The great irony of this case is that the
Holy
DNA
shit! This lady's a fucking menace.
Should have been enough, but the person that processed it was so flawed and so broken, and her name is Missy Woods.
What the fuck, dude?
That we already had to bake in extra mercy for him.
Just last week, District Attorney George Brockler bringing Woods' name back into the spotlight after a man was convicted of a much lighter charge because Woods allegedly handled DNA at the crime scene. According to these court documents, investigators interviewed other forensic scientists. One flagged Woods' work over concerns back in 2018. When confronted by investigators saying data being deleted was likely not accidental, Woods responded, quote, "You're probably right." This case was investigated by the South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation, but now it is being handled by the District Attorney's Office out in Jefferson County, which is also one of the many counties whose cases were likely impacted by Woods. In a statement, the DA said in part, "My office remains committed to reviewing all affected cases within our jurisdiction on behalf of the defendants and victims involved." Woods turned herself into jail there this afternoon and is being held on a $50,000 cash-only bond. Her attorney had no comment, but Woods will be in court tomorrow morning. For Denver 7 Investigates, I'm Natalie Chuck.
$50,000 bond only? What the fuck? Well, I mean, she's not really a like, what is she gonna do? Fucking go attack someone? Look at her. She's just a frail old lady. I mean, then again, a frail old lady could still fucking shank you, right? If manipulated evidence in more than 1,000 cases, why is she only charged with 102 counts? Because that's all the accounts across, right, all these cases. Right. Also, all these cases probably have the same, right, have the same amount of, or had the same crime, so that's why it's 102 counts. Shouldn't samples be tested more than once? I've known about for years that she was doing it, but let her stay on her position and reach retirement. Yeah, this is the bureaucracy. Happens across the country, yeah. Like I said, there's in every nook and cranny, there's some fucked up shit going on. Whether it's the VTuber industry, whether it's the fucking tech industry, video games, where they do shady business practices and fuck people over. Right, where it's the politicians and lobbyists pushing fucked up bills and laws to fuck with people. Shit happens. Trump Gaming 2025. Let's go.
That is SoCap, Junior. I just pulled your IP. I've got it right now.
No, you don't.
That is SoCap, Junior. I just pulled your IP. I've got it right now.
No, you don't. Say
Albuquerque, New Mexico. Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where you're from.
That's not... How did... Hey!
308 Negra Aurora Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's you, isn't it?
No, that's...
I'm on Google Earth right now. I see a pizza on your roof.
That's my grandma's house. Nice try.
So you're playing at your grandmother's house? You're a loser. Don't even talk to me.
Don't ever talk to me. So you're playing at your grandmother's house? Don't ever talk to me. That was so fluffy, and you can eat your soup right out the ashtrays if you wanna. But the air smells like warm root beer there. Google Earth is crazy, yep. At least he is actually gaming, unlike Elmo. Jesus. Jerry's base shell was left untouched there. You know the place. You just stand a chance. Alright, isn't he... Even Tolkien couldn't write fiction this good? Oh yeah, there was this... there was like an article about like Tolkien or something, helping write something. God damn it. He'll probably show it. Show commit violence on his behalf? Oh, wait, what?
Those who have been released have made...
Oh, it's this guy.
Clear.
Oh, God,
These are
gross.
far-right, violent...
This guy's a retard. This guy's a retard. This guy's probably a fucking retard, too. I don't know who that guy is.
Extremists who have engaged in political violence, now set free by the President of the United States and encouraged, emboldened, inspired to not only fight on his behalf, but to commit violence on his behalf. This is effectively a militia that Donald Trump has created to support
J6,
his
right?
political
Wait,
wishes.
I think he just
and his
pardoned
personal
everyone.
wishes, which
He
are
was just
always
like, fuck it.
overlapped with
Because
his
they've
political
been, I think, all of them have been sitting in jail.
We are here today.
I mean, some of them have
To
been.
emphasize a couple
Actually,
of
I don't even know if
First
some
and
of them got
foremost
released on trials
is
or got
that
put. I think some of them
Donald
had
Trump's
trials and
pardons
some of them didn't.
are a
So
complete
it's like,
abandonment.
yeah, there's
of
a lot of them
all
have
the
just
men
been
and
sitting
women
there
in
for
law
like what,
enforcement
3 years?
around this country.
Yeah, yeah. Biden pardoned a literal cop killer. Yeah.
He's the devil.
Trump does anything. He's the devil. He fucking did it, right? Just like this guy. He was like, "Fuck Trump." What was it? Fuck Trump. Thanks Obama. Right. What was it? He was like, "Thanks Obama" at the end. Fuck Trump. Some shit like that. It's fucking. For slander, they call him. They didn't. I thought he would show the. Where did I find that article? I think it was Ars Technica. Where did I see it? Oh, right here. Oh, no, it was George R.R. Martin. That's who it was. Also, why was I thinking of Tolkien for some reason? Sorry, my mind is all over the fucking place today. I'm fucking exhausted. Fans of song Ice and Fire. A physicist walks into a fictional universe. Okay. Where's fucking some kind of science fiction book? Some kind of RPG game type thing? I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. Anyways, I don't know why I was I don't know what fucking Tolkien. I don't know. I'm fucking. I don't know what happened. Trump's rapid changes in U.S. government stun federal workers. Trump fires 4-star Coast Guard. Wait, what? Coast Guard chief? Oh, wait, she was that lady who was talking crap. Trump says Mark Miley and Jose Andres are fired. You're fired. Trump fires 4 Biden appointees, including his own former... Wait, what? That was too fast. His own former Iran envoy. Ah. Oh. He fired the envoy? I want a new envoy. Get the fuck out of here. Trump moves to fire or force out thousands of federal employees. Trump calls DEI programs illegal. I mean, in a sense, they are. He plans to end them in the federal government. Yeah, I mean, in a sense, the DEI programs that some of these companies have been pushing are, in a sense, illegal because they discriminate people. You're discriminating people, literally. Trump terminates John Bolton's security detail within hours of taking office. President Trump ends Anthony Fauci's security detail and says he feels responsibility if harm befell. Trump fires 17 independent watchdogs at multiple agencies in late night move. Damn. There goes the Fed informants. Is that EDP? Why does he have EDP?
You're fired. Get out of here.
You're fired. Get out of here. Yeah. You're fired. Get out of here. You're fired. What? Isn't it glorious? Funny how all these media outlets have a sudden change of heart about Trump, knowing full well he hasn't forgotten a single thing said about him over the past 8 years. Yeah, I mean, given what happened to what, CNN? Wait, wasn't CNN got tagged by Trump? Was it also MSNBC? Oh, MSNBC was kind of close to getting tagged by Trump. But yeah, I mean, Trump could go after a lot of these fucking media outlets. If CNN got fucking caught in the settlement, right? It's like, yeah, oh, you guys are fucked now. It was pretty much great watching him diss Karen Bass and the rest of the slimy LA leadership, yeah. About time someone stands up and runs this clown show. Thank the Lord for Trump coming back and telling these people where to go and how to get there. Thank God we have a real president again. See? Rotten slime is finally getting flushed from the system. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Yeah, they literally made that the song now. YMCA. Do 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 do. What do we got? The rise of the BRICS nations. I think, what was it? I think Trump said Spain was a part of it. I don't know why he thought Spain was. Spain is not a part of it. I think he just saw BRICS and thought Spain immediately. But yeah, Spain is not a part of it.
China, Russia, and India are teaming up because they want to dethrone the United States
China,
as the world's
Russia,
superpower.
India.
And this is something you might want to pay attention to as an investor here in the United States. But let me explain. The BRICS nations have come together to try to dethrone the United States as the world's superpower.
So yeah, as you see it, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Right.
Superpower. BRICS stands
Not
for
Spain.
Brazil, Russia, India,
Africa.
China, and South Africa. At first, no one really cared. But now it's starting to get more interesting as BRICS are recruiting more countries. As of January 2025, BRICS includes 10 different nations, including Indonesia. And their goal is to reduce their dependence on the United States
Spain
dollar,
might go,
build their own
but who
political
knows if
alliance,
Spain.
and have more influence on global trade. In other words, they don't want the United States and the United States dollar to have as much power as they do. So let me grab my whiteboard and show you what's going on. The BRICS nations currently make up around...
Actually, the fact that they're doing this might give power to the dollar again, right? Because now there would be, right, there would be a opposition, right, a rivalry, competition. So in a way, this could bring up the, right, this could bring back the power of the fiat currency.
41% of our global GDP, that is our global economy. Now we could compare this number to the United States, which in 2023, the United States GDP made up around 13% of our global economy, but that's not really comparing apples to apples because here we have a group of nations and the United States is just one, so we can compare the BRICS nations against the G7 nations. What is the G7 nations? This is again a group of countries that's comprised of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom,
basically
the United States, and
Western
additionally
nations.
the European Union. So in simple terms, the G7 is the clique that the United States is a part of, And the G7
It's
GDP
basically
makes
the
up
West
around
nations versus the
30%
East nations.
of the global GDP. What we saw is in the last couple of years that the BRICS nation GDP number actually outpaced and grew bigger than the G7 nations, which means yes, as of the last few years, the BRICS nations comprise themselves of a larger portion of the global GDP than the G7 nations. But that's not all. Let's go a little bit deeper. By the way, if you find this type of stuff interesting, you will love Market Briefs. Market Briefs is my free financial newsletter where my team is breaking down what's happening in things like our economy, the global
I should
economy,
take a look
the
at
housing
that.
market, the stock market, and the crypto market into a fun and witty and easy to read
Can't
newsletter. We
handle
break
the
down the
tr-
top
yeah.
financial news stories like this.
Yeah, some
and
people
you can read it in
can't.
less than 5 minutes every morning. We have hundreds of thousands of investors that read Market Briefs every morning, and it's completely free. So if you'd like to join Market Briefs for free, I got the link to how you can join down in the description below. If we take a look at the share of the global population of the BRICS nations versus the G7 nations, the BRICS nations make up around 40% of the global population versus the G7 nations make up around 10% of the global population. Is this good? Is that bad? I'll leave that up to your imagination, but what we know is that the G7 nations are making more money per capita, meaning per person, compared to the BRICS nations, but the BRICS nations have a lot more people compared to the G7 nations. And then if we take a look at how fast the average country is growing in the BRICS nations versus the G7.
I mean, honestly, I don't think this really matters. I mean, these guys are just pushing out fucking babies like it's fucking nothing.
Nations,
God
what we'll
damn.
see is that the
Just-
BRICS nations have
just
a
pushing
average
out
growth
babies.
rate of around 3.6% versus countries in the G7 nations have an average economic growth rate of around 1%. So these countries are growing a whole lot faster. Now let's get a little
Yeah.
bit more granular. In the beginning of this video, I talked about how the BRICS nations want to dethrone the United States as the world's superpower. But why? The reason why is because the United States dollar is the world's reserve currency.
Yep.
And that's something that gives you a lot of clout.
Right, because before it was the British pound. Now it's the US dollar. That happened because of the whole World War situation. When the other countries got hit real hard with all the air bombings and shit. Yeah, the whole currency system and the whole banking system had to change because some of these countries didn't have the money to deal with all the fucking destruction and needed help to rebuild. So I think US had a hand, right? US had a hand in helping rebuild some of these nations.
And a lot of power. But instead of talking in slang, let me show you what that actually means. This is from Investopedia. Being the world's reserve currency means that a large percentage of commodities, such as gold and oil, are priced in the reserve currency, causing other countries to hold this currency to pay for their goods. That means when you are the world's reserve currency, like the United States dollar is, the world is required to buy certain commodities like oil using your currency, which means countries around the world have to value your currency,
Yeah.
and that might mean that they're holding on to your currency, which gives more power to your currency, which gives more growth to your economy and your people. And so you can start to see why that world's reserve currency gives you so much power, because oil is the most traded commodity in the world. So there's a lot of money in oil. And if the world is required to trade oil in dollars, well, that means a lot of countries are holding onto dollars. That's very good news
Well,
for
I
the
mean,
United
you need
States.
you need
In fact, you might
oil
have heard the
to
term
use a lot of
petrodollar
machinery.
before. Well, that's exactly what this means. The global oil trade has been predominantly conducted in United States dollars, creating a symbiosis between America's currency and the world's most traded commodity. That's why it's so powerful
then you
being
need
the
that
world's
oil
reserve
for-
currency,
to-
because that means the
the
world
resource to
operates on
produce
your
things.
currency that gives more power to your currency, and that makes you a richer nation, especially when your currency is a fiat currency.
Yep.
Fiat currency meaning it's just a piece of paper.
Yep.
Our dollars are not backed by physical gold, they're pieces of paper. And so being the world's reserve currency gives the United
Right,
States
and that's why we have the high inflation and everything. Because some of these people have just been printing money, and that's why we have inflation.
ability to
And then you had the stock market crashes and the bank crashes and stuff like that, right? The recessions and all that shit happening.
Spend a lot of money.
Yeah, that really
even
fucked
if we don't
us.
have it. And the reason why we can do
That
that
really
isn't
fucked
just
with
because
a
the Federal
lot of
Reserve Bank will write the
people's
blank
money.
checks. It's because the world will accept that. Because we are the world's reserve currency, and the world will still recognize the United States dollar no matter how many dollars we print,
Yeah.
essentially. But this is where you're starting to see some people get concerned
that's why
because we're starting.
That's why I've been saying the fiat fucking currency is weak as shit. Because we could just fucking print it.
Starting to see things change, especially
Obviously, the government doesn't want to say, yes, that's true, because it would make them look bad. So that's why they always, try to say, oh, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. We can't just do that, right? Right. That's why they always say, we can't just keep printing more money, even though they do. It's come on. We all know that.
as we're starting to see the growth of these BRICS nations. For example, in 2023, it was big headlines that countries, namely BRICS countries, started or tried to start trading oil with currencies other than the dollar. Now you can start to see how that can pose some concerns. For example, JP Morgan Chase Bank published this article on their website towards the end of 2024. De-dollarization. Is the United States dollar losing its dominance?
Well, I mean, given what the BRICS nation is doing, I mean, there's a competition, is there not? There could be a rise in someone trying to make someone else's currency the dominant currency, right? We're gonna get into the fucking whole Visa MasterCard thing, but yeah.
But that's not all. If you've been reading market briefs, you also know that BRICS nations have been buying up physical gold in order to help strengthen their currencies. Over the last couple of years, if you've been following the financial news at all, you might have heard that gold prices are breaking new record highs.
Yes.
One of the reasons for that is that central banks around the world have been ramping up their gold buying to strengthen their currencies,
I bet,
potentially preparing themselves for any sort of economic trade war. Now, I know that a lot of this can sound scary, but I want to be completely transparent here and have you understand the full 360 picture. The first part of that is the United States is the world's largest holder of gold reserves. And it's not like the BRICS nations don't have their own concerns as well. For example, Brazil has been facing lots of issues with corruption, China is facing their own debt crisis, and Russia is facing a lot of economic sanctions. But that doesn't mean we should ignore all the economic concerns we have in the United States. Namely, that we're growing our debt much faster than our economy. Take a look. In 2014, the GDP in the United States was around $17.6 trillion large. That is, again, our economy. By the end of 2024, our economy had grown to around $27.9 trillion, or it's estimated to be around there, which is a growth of around 59%. But this is where it gets interesting. Over that same time period, our national debt grew from around $17.8 trillion to a little bit over $36.3 trillion. That's an increase of around 103%, which means over the last decade, we have seen our national debt levels in the United States grow almost twice as fast as our economy. And that's a concern, especially when we keep spending more and more money, but our economy isn't keeping up with all that money spending. This is why
bad.
in the beginning of December
That's very
2024,
bad. It
Jerome
sounds like
Powell,
what
who is the
game
chairman at the Federal
companies are
Reserve Bank,
doing.
said that the
right. Or it sounds like what these companies did when COVID hit, right? They fucking upscaled, and then when they upscaled, the fucking money flow stopped flowing, and then they were just like, oh shit, we actually don't have the money to do a lot of these things. And then you saw fucking, 2 years later, just a wave of people just leaving or getting laid off. Like, yeah. You kind of did that yourself, you know.
The United States government spending is going down an unsustainable path.
You should have probably guessed that, COVID wasn't gonna last
Janet Yellen,
forever,
who's the
you
Treasury
know.
Secretary in the United States, says that now the government has to start taking, quote, extraordinary measures to avoid a potential debt default in the United States. Why? Because the impact of this growth of national debt, the growth of all this money printing and spending, can create inflation. Now, of course, we've been hearing inflation worries still in the United States. However, it's not as bad as it is in many other countries. So yes, we are very fortunate in the United States that our problems here aren't as bad as many other countries in the world. We're also very fortunate here that we have the strongest economy in the world. We're also very fortunate here that we have the strongest government, we have the strongest military, and we have the strongest currency. But the concern that many people have is, are we in an empire that's on its way down? And if it is, how long do we have?
Mm-hmm.
Now, nobody knows the answer to that. But what we do know is that the United States has been resilient, and it will probably continue to be resilient.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm very bullish on the United States. Do we have concerns? Absolutely. Do
Yeah.
we have risks? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But I still believe that there's opportunities. But this means you need to be smart, and you need to be able to find the investment opportunities. But in order for you to find the investment opportunities, you have to have money to invest. That means you have to understand how to actually put money aside, and then understand how to actually invest your money. Now that's going to be a very
Knowing
big
how to
deviation from
save
this
money
video
and
itself,
invest
but I
money?
want you to
Oh, no, don't
understand
say
that
those.
anytime you hear a risk, anytime you hear a concern, for most people that just means panic. For most people that just means fear. For most people that just creates all these emotions, angry, scared, whatever it might be. For financially savvy investors, that means it's time to look for opportunities. That's what I want you to think about. How can this create an investment opportunity for you? Now, of course, we have market briefs as a resource for you to start paying attention to what's happening in the financial markets, but this is where you can also invest in your financial education and your investor education. That way you can learn how to invest your money, how to have money to invest, and how do you actually start deploying your money, finding the right investment opportunities for you, because the reality is this economic system is designed to benefit investors. Hate it or love it, that's the name of the game. And most of us are never taught this. That's why I want you to understand, hey, our economy is changing. It's going to be changing. It has changed in the past. And if you want to win in this economic system, you have to learn how our economy works. You have to learn how money works. And you have to have the money to be able to invest. And with that, I want to hear from you. Do you think what's going on with the BRICS nations is a real concern and something that we should be paying more attention to? Or do you think this is overblown and the United States is safe and there's nothing to worry about? Let me know down in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading what you have to say. Let's assume that you make $5,000 a month. After taxes, you
do I think the BRICS nations are a concern? As of right now, probably not. But they are someone they do raise some eyebrows, right? They do raise some flags at what they're trying to do. Right? Especially because of what happened the fucking 4 years of what with Biden and everything. We don't know what the fuck happened with Biden. We don't know the fucking 10-year gap he did with Hunter Biden and all these people, right? We have no clue. Right? They did not tell us a fucking thing. For all we know, they could have just fucking lied to us. So what do we know? All we know is they've been sending a lot of money to Ukraine and fueling the war effort and whatnot. They've been sending missiles, right? Allowing long-range missile systems and whatnot. Right, and then you have the whole Israel, Palestine, Gaza bullshit going on. The terrorist group attacking Israel, and then Israel getting pissed off and doing shit, right? So yeah, I mean, all sorts of shit is going on. Problem is most people always taught that you only need a good job to become rich. These billionaires are operating on a whole other playbook that many don't even know exists. Yeah, that's right. A lot of these guys do like insider trading and shit, right? So like they're obviously going to have an upper hand advantage on everyone. Yeah, also companies have insider trading upper hand stuff too. So you're at a disadvantage anyways. When you weaponize the dollar and the world wakes up. If you read the history, BRICS been after Indonesia for years and they always said maybe. Once Trump won the presidency, Indonesians say we may interest. After Trump said Greenland and Panama have to protect U.S. interests, and that the same week Indonesia said count us in. Indonesia has a solid economy, education system, and health system. U.S. has been losing economic dominance since countries rebuilt themselves after World War II. We've dropped like from 50% global GDP to 13% today. Dramatic drop in 80 years. I believe that the path that we are on economic is not sustainable. More debt versus actual growth. Yeah, that's the real issue. If we keep doing what we're doing, we're gonna fucking, our country's gonna fucking burn. The rest of the world sees this. Whether BRICS will replace the dollar. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Right? If they are trying to replace the dollar with the whole, right, with their, with one of the other BRICS nations' currency system, what will it be? Right? Will it go back to the, wait, who was it? Brazil? Was it Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America? Are they gonna try and make us pay in rubles? Well, they're gonna try and make us pay in shillings? Only time will tell. It might be a completely different currency that we don't know about yet. But I think it is a mistake, yeah. And misplaced arrogance to think that the dollar and the Western economies can go on in perpetuity. I think the next couple of years will be really telling us as the direction of the world economies. Also, I don't think the World Economic what about what are the WHO and WEF are saying? Because this would affect them too, essentially. Right? It would affect a lot of business and companies. Right? If your if your currency system were to change to a different currency system, ouch. Everyone's been using the dollar exchange, right? The exchange rate of the dollar for a while now. What happens if you were to just change that? Would people want that? I will continue to follow its impact and will plan to invest in Western economies continue to race toward bankruptcy. History is the best teacher here, in my opinion. Well, money is so... isn't it interesting how billionaires often brainwash people into believing that chasing money isn't the path of happiness? The truth is, while money itself might not bring happiness, it does not provide security and freedom. That's true. These billionaires are securing wealth for future generations. Yeah, also... Yeah, your security. What happens to your security when you're just walking down the street and someone fucking shanks you? Yeah. Yeah, beast, dude. Have a comment on their investors. It's crucial for people to take their financial literacy seriously and consider investing in the stock market. It really can work for you and help you build the financial future you deserve, yeah. Basically, yes. India told not to trade in local currency, and how someone trusts that they don't weaponize BRICS. It is same as dollar with different owners. I mean, yeah. I mean, right? One of them wants to become the next world power, obviously. Right? The U.S. is still the dominant world power in terms of first world countries. The other countries might not like it, but it's true. We have a better constitution than all these other fuckers. You guys got... all these other countries got fucking gimped by their own government. They're fucking bent over by their government.
Guys are up here.
They got fucking bent over and take it in the back.
Stuff and hey, what's up, guys? We're up here. So today we're going to be talking about some pretty serious stuff, and I'm pretty sure based on the content of what we're going to be discussing today, this video is going to get bonked from many different angles. Basically, a lot of the terms we're going to be discussing today are like algorithm repellent, so I would definitely...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the... Oh, the YouTube videos that I do? Oh, man. Even though they're just from the edited streams that I just cut up, right? The shit I say, oh god.
We appreciate comments, engagement, likes, sharing this video, whatever, because it's going to be probably quite limited. So we're going to be talking about Visa and MasterCard and some allegations they are currently facing thanks to a whistleblower report, as well as some other material.
Yeah, the whistleblower.
Now, Visa and MasterCard are incredibly influential payment processors who have essentially dominated the global market, and we've seen how
these guys have been here longer before any of us have been born. That's how old these companies are.
Influence and try to control the behavior of various platforms and businesses. We have made multiple videos over the past couple of years talking about these companies going out and trying to give particularly Japanese companies an ultimatum. Either you censor this type of fictional content on your platform, or we're going to pull away our services, leaving the companies and platforms with pretty much two really bad choices. So what's happening now is actually something we see a lot involving people who are virtue signaling about fictional content. Allegations involving
well, I mean, it happens with
real-life
PayPal, right? The
harmed.
other payment processing plans
here is
too.
A article discussing various reports from
Oh.
Reuters over recent days.
Yeah, I heard about this one. I didn't read the article, but yeah, I heard about it. Exclusive U.S. whistleblower says MasterCard Visa failed to stop payments for CP or CA. Oh, well, that sounds like California. I'll just say child. Suggs abuse. A material on the OFs.
In weeks. So you can see the title here. Exclusive. U.S. whistleblower says MasterCard Visa failed to stop payments for CSAM on OF. Now I'm going to have to use a lot of abbreviations in this video to try to keep it
CSAM
here,
on OF,
that
yeah.
headline is
I'm probably
going
gonna
to
get tagged if I post this on the
are
fucking
not surprising given the
YouTube.
greed of these companies and
'Cause
what they'll do
I said
to
the
just
child,
make another buck.
it's
Now,
the-
before we get into the allegations and the report from the whistleblower
I'm not
here,
gonna say it. Can't
let's
say it.
introduce
It's gonna
the
be bad for the
CEO
YouTubes.
of OF, Kaylee Blair, an Irish lawyer and self-described feminist and safety nerd
Great.
who was
Feminist.
recently promoted to the
From
CEO
Ireland.
position in
Oh,
2023.
wasn't Ireland in some turmoil with some shit?
Feminist and owner of OF. That is hilarious. And then safety nerd. Meanwhile, her company's spending
Weren't
about
the Irish getting
$100,000
fucked
a
up by
year on
something?
detecting illegal material on their platform. Meanwhile, the company generates billions upon billions. But anyway, she continues on here, and the article says she presents herself and her platform as a lucrative and empowering, particularly for women, and often mentions her two daughters. I want
Yikes.
them to have a good online life, she told delegates
what?
at a UK child protection conference in 2023. I want the same for your kids. That is a potentially very bizarre set of statements there, but anyways, let's talk about OF as a platform. It's one that I have an issue with, and a lot.
Wasn't one of these the women like they wanted to create an AI of one of their dead relatives, or they wanted to make a chatbot of one of their dead relatives to talk to them? Is this one of those ladies?
A lot of people have an issue with. You know, I'm in no ways a Puritan. I don't really care what consenting adults do. However, the way that OF has marketed itself, particularly towards young women for years and years, is something that I think is exploitative. They try to sell these young women a dream that if they post content on this platform, they're going to make a lot of money. They're going to change their life around, and it's going to be a very empowering
I mean,
experience.
you can
see
be
those
like
words being used
what's her name,
directly
Lily
to
Phillips,
describe
and
this platform. When the reality
who
is,
was that other
only
one
a
that did
small
like
portion of the
1,000
top
fucking
1% of
men
the
in like
content
40
creators
seconds?
on that website are going to turn any sort of a
God.
substantial amount of
Jesus
revenue. And unfortunately, a lot of people get the perception.
I'm surprised
because every,
they don't
month or
have
two,
any
some,
health problems. My
person
goodness.
From OF will
Getting
post
fucking railed
screenshots
through that
claiming
many
they made, like,
times
$50
without
million
having any health problems.
last year.
My goodness.
And you know, the average person working like 60, 70 hours a week for dirt sees that and wants to jump off a bridge. However,
Yeah.
those are the whales of the platform who are making most of the
I mean,
revenue.
that's what people
The
want to
rest of
do.
the people on the platform,
They
they're
want to be
making not very
self-destructive.
much
They be
or nothing
self-destructive.
at all. And a lot of people, I think, reasonably to be understood, might regret their decision. They were sold a dream that didn't happen, and now they regret putting themselves out on this platform in such an exposing way. And that is why I think there's something very exploitative about this particular platform. So I'm not too surprised to see this platform that is so driven.
Well, I mean, you also have the fucking nepotism and nymphomania, right? Who fucking do this shit for the love of just being a fucking lunatic.
By revenue, selling itself as a place for feminism despite taking 20% of all the revenue for themselves, then having this issue where they're colliding with MasterCard and Visa, who's essentially the middleman on these transactions.
Like, these people
And
will
let's get
do
into the
criminal
actual
activity
article
if they
here. From Reuters,
so
MasterCard
choose
and
to,
Visa
if it
failed
makes
to
them
stop
money.
their payment networks from laundering proceeds from CSAM and S-trafficking on the popular website OF, according to allegations in a previously undisclosed whistleblower complaint filed with the U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Unit. The whistleblower, a senior compliance expert in the credit card and banking industries, said the two giant card companies knew their networks were being used to pay for illegal content on the site since at least 2021 and accused them of turning a blind eye to flows of illicit revenue. The complaint was filed in January of 2023 with the Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, and the U.S. Justice and Homeland Security Departments, the whistleblower said. So basically right here, financial crimes, right? Because if this is true, they're essentially committing money laundering by being the middleman of these illegal transactions. But the complaint said that the whistleblower and other anti-trafficking experts, including U.S. federal agents, alerted Visa and MasterCard to unlawful content on OF. In a series of calls in 2021 and 2022, the federal agents corroborated the presence of CSAM on OF, the complaint said. It also drew heavily on a 2022 study by anti-trafficking groups that said it had
Wasn't there OF? Wasn't there like some OF flesh tube or flesh YouTubers or something on the YouTube who tried to go after like VTubers and shit? and their platform is actually having fucking having this shit go through. Dumbass bimbos.
They found a high volume of OF accounts
Fucking Christ,
with common
man.
indicators of abuse
Why are people so
material
fucking stupid?
or as trafficking. The whistleblower said he helped with the study, which was shared with the card companies. On OF, Visa and MasterCard process payments between content creators and their customers. When the content is CSAM, the
It's
card
very
companies
easy
are
just to
directly
not do
handling the
criminal
proceeds
activity,
of
you
these
know?
illicit transactions.
It's very
said
easy
the
to not
complaint.
act like a
By
complete
continuing
fucking
to process
dumbass.
payments on OF, MasterCard and Visa had
Fucking
willfully
dunce
failed
cap and
to
all.
maintain effective anti-money laundering programs required by the Bank Secrecy Act, said the complaint, which argued FinCEN and two other federal agencies to take action against the card companies. Reuters reviewed an email confirming FinCEN had received the complaint. In response to questions, the agency said it doesn't confirm or deny the existence of whistleblower complaints. The Justice and Homeland Security Departments declined to comment, because apparently this isn't a very important issue to them. But anyways, Reuters could not determine what action, if any, the agencies took in response to the complaint, which was filed under FinCEN's anti-money laundering whistleblower program launched in 2021. Under that program, complaints are confidential and the identity of the whistleblower is protected. However, Reuters reviewed the complaint, interviewed the whistleblower on condition of anonymity, and corroborated his identity and credentials. The complaint said he had extensive expertise in fighting money laundering. Now, it starts to get interesting here. In an interview, the whistleblower said the agencies never contacted him to discuss the complaint. The card companies had the power to turn off the switch to stop illicit material from being monetized, he added. MasterCard and Visa said they hadn't heard of the 2023 whistleblower complaint until Reuters contacted them. They disputed the complaint's allegations and cited their efforts to keep their networks free of illegal activity. Well, would you?
Yeah, so basically, if you check this website out, our Boyer e-filing system streamlines the electronic submission of beneficial ownership information reports. The Boyer. Mandated by the Corporate Transparency Act. Basically, all companies have to go through this. This process helps U.S. businesses meet compliance requirements set by the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, promoting transparency and aiding in fight against financial crimes. The new reporting files are broad, covering a wide range of entity types. Generally, if you have a U.S.-based business entity formed or registered with a state or a foreign entity authorized to do business in the U.S., you may need to file a BOI report. Here are the most common types of entities that must comply. So if you are an entity, if you're a business and you are not doing this, you are shady as fuck.
Joe, look at that. They finally discovered these complaints only after the mainstream media made them aware of it, quote unquote, aware of it very recently. As we'll see, not only was this whistleblower complaint made back at the beginning of 2023, there's also
especially when you know that there's fucking some sort of criminal activity happening.
Platform, and I think it's obvious that there is an issue with OF, and I don't think that's too surprising. But let's skip ahead a little bit in the article here, where it says, since the whistleblower complaint was filed, Reuters uncovered more allegations of CSA and S trafficking on OF, a site that generates money through subscriptions and pay-per-view content, which is also a very big issue with reporting this content because it's all paywalled. That's the issue. It's a subscription-based thing that they say is empowering for the people operating on the website, but that makes it hard to see any of the content that might be violative or exploiting people, because you need to actually pay to see it. So a lot of these organizations that are, whether they're nonprofits or related agencies who cover this sort of illicit content, they have to pay to even have a chance to search through these potentially illegal accounts. And it's really on OF and their payment processors, Visa and MasterCard, to handle and monitor this stuff. But they're not doing a very good job, in my opinion, and according to this whistleblower and other sources. So
yeah,
July,
unfortunately, credit card companies aren't very good at detecting fraud, right? But they're not very good at checking people's identities, right? They just go by what surface level shit, really, right? They basically believe you because you're a customer in a sense.
Reported that hundreds
and they think you're a
of sexually
customer, and that's all they can
videos
do.
and images of minors, some as young as toddlers. And by the way, I read the original Reuters report on that sort of section, and it is absolutely vomit-inducing. It is the most disgusting stuff ever. But this stuff has appeared on the site since 2019.
And then people will use
police complaints.
use people's identities to try and open up bank accounts in their name and shit.
Accounts to authorities that appeared to contain sexual content featuring underage teen girls. The accounts were quickly taken down, said the investigator. Another story focused on women who said they had been enslaved, sometimes by their fiance or boyfriend, to make money on the...
Kind of sounds like someone who was on Twitch and then they left Twitch. I wonder what happened to that person. Are they still doing OnlyFans content? Probably.
Platform. There's a lot of complaints about that. And here's the thing. I'm not naive, and no one should be about this. There is illegal
honestly, I'm
content
thinking
on
she
any
fucking lied
major
about
platform.
everything.
It's a big problem, whether it's on places like X or Instagram or what have you. This stuff is going to unfortunately exist due to the nature of the internet. Okay, but how these companies respond is really, really important. And across the board, in my opinion, they do a terrible job dealing with the very serious illegal content being posted on these platforms, reports not being reviewed at all, report systems being clogged with false reports, things like that, weighing this all down. When it comes to OF, there's something very odd. Again, based on the subscription-based model of this platform, I think it's all up onto OF and their payment processors to handle a lot of these reportings, right? However, as a spokesperson has noted, OF itself made only 347 reports to NCMEC, a related agency who investigates this stuff, in 2023. So in the entire year of 2023, they only reported 347 times, compared to the millions of instances that are reported by other social media platforms.
Yeah.
So 347 versus millions, and they have hundreds of millions of posts being made every single year on their platform, but they only bring in 300 or so reports. They're clearly not doing that great of a job. It's hard to believe that they're really giving it their all to
given the
what's going
fucking
on with their platform. I think that should be a
given
big
how
red
many
flag
people are
for a
fucking
lot of people looking
accessing
at
the
this.
website and then
Let's
putting their
continue on.
content,
The MasterCard spokesperson,
right? You have to. This is a right. This is a worldwide, right? This is an international site. All right. This is international site. Do you know the internet traffic that is going on a day-to-day basis? It is fucking insane just how much shit is going on. And no one thinks about it. There's so much shit happening even as we speak right now. There are tons and tons of people searching up the internet as we speak right now, talking, right, looking up information, right, probably doing jobs on their fucking internet, right? It's like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who get into some shit, and yeah, this company's not going to be able to get to everything because they're so small compared to what's been right, the large scale of everything.
Person called Reuters
You're asking
findings
a
on
very
this
small
abuse on OF
corporation
alarming,
to
but
deal
said
with a
law
very
enforcement or certain child
large
protection
international
groups would need
fucking
to
issue
provide
all over the
evidence of
fucking
illegal
world.
activity for the company to act or investigate.
Oh, man.
Visa didn't comment on whether the company was investigating Reuters' findings. So they're probably not, because it's not a good look for them. And also, going back to the lack of reports, it's not just because if these allegations are true, they want to profit off of this illegal content. It's also to protect their brand. They don't want to be obviously exposed for this. So of course they're not going to look into these
Yeah,
things. Of
where
course they're not gonna make a lot
how
of
many
reports if these allegations
offices
are true,
does
because it'll make
this
their platform look bad,
OnlyFans,
and they're
right?
gonna be
These
punished
OnlyFans
as a result of that. So they don't want to
website have
investigate
only
these
one
things
office.
as a financial
Well, where is it?
incentive.
Probably in Texas
But
or
anyways,
something. Right.
UK-based OF didn't respond to questions about the whistleblower complaint.
Oh,
On its
it's
website, the
UK.
company says
Sorry,
it enforces
UK-based
a
OnlyFans.
zero-tolerance
Oh wait, there's
policy
a
against
there's
any
probably
content
UK.
relating
Oh,
to this stuff, and
is there a
blocks or takes down
UK-based
material that
branch
violates rules.
OnlyFans and a
It said it
US-based
also
branch
reports illegal
OnlyFans? Is
content
that
to law
what's going on?
enforcement and child protection groups. In a previous statement, OF told Reuters it works to aggressively target, report, and support the investigations and prosecutions of anyone who abuses the platform. And yeah, you can see just the crazy amount of revenue here, but let's go to the next section.
People will pay
uncomfortable images, as it's described.
for other
Many,
people's body parts.
P-site websites are free to make money.
Or maybe to,
mostly
you
from
know, get a quick
advertising.
fling.
OF, by contrast, takes a 20% cut of the income its creators
Right,
earn
the
from
fucking
selling
the
content to subscribers
1,000 body
who
count
must
person and
enter their
the Lily
card details
Phillips.
to pay for
What was
it.
it?
OF
Lily
accepts
Phillips and the
cards by
fucking
MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. It appears
something
that
blue or
Discover
whatever.
really doesn't have much of a presence there. And also, just understand, I think in the US, for example, MasterCard and Visa are responsible for like 80+% of credit card transactions. I mean, they have an absolute stranglehold on the market.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, let's look down here for a second, okay? In 2020, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover blocked customers.
Well,
from
you also
using
have
cards
Bank
to
of
make purchases
America.
on PH, another big adults-only
But if
platform.
you're looking for
To the
like
public outcry
international,
over alleged
like
CSAM
Visa,
and other
MasterCard,
illegal
and
content. So that was an absolute
yeah, Visa,
shit show,
MasterCard,
for
really.
lack of a better term. In case you don't know what happened back in 2020 with that whole
All
situation,
the other
there was
ones are like
major
American
allegations
based.
made against PH, and it was saying that their platform had
I only know
litany
American based
of illegal
ones.
material, and how they responded to that, very eyebrow raising. So what did they do? They essentially nuked their entire website. They deleted around 90%
Discover,
of the videos on the platform. Millions and millions of videos. Now, of course, not every video that was deleted or taken down was something that was illegal. However, it shows that their curation of their own content on their website was so bad and so unchecked that they were just overwhelmed. And to save themselves from even more consequences, they just nuked everything. They said anything that even could possibly
remotely
be
looks
illicit, it's
yeah.
gone. We're not taking a chance. So it almost seemed very suspicious to people that they had to do that sort of a response to those allegations. But anyways, there's a lot more that's going on with OF. So in May of 2021, the BBC detailed several cases of explicit videos of underage teens on OF. 3 months later, 102 members
Well, I
of
mean,
Congress called for
the UK
a
has
Justice
been
Department
undergoing
investigation into
some.
alleged
Right, they got the
CSAM
Southport
on
killer
OF.
going
The
on.
department declined
Right, they
to
got the
comment on
grooming
the
gangs.
status
They got a
of
lot of
that
fucking
request.
bullshit going
Of
on.
course, they declined that.
They're jailing
2021,
people for making
senior executives at MasterCard
for
held a
making
tense
jokes
call
about how
with a
fucked
group
up
of
the government is.
anti-trafficking experts, some of whom wanted to
Well, they
wanted the
they
company to
let
cut ties with
criminals
OF,
just fuck
according to a
people.
person who attended. The site
Really
was
fucking
hosting
weird. You
a
got people
CSAM
pissing in cups and then
experts
drinking
told the
it.
MasterCard
It's like, what the
executives.
fuck, man?
And one expert, a U.S. federal agent, said he could prove it. During the call, said the attendee,
Fucking
the
you,
agent
fucking the
accessed
UK,
an
man.
OF account with sexually
Goddamn
explicit
Britain.
images of what he said was a young
They're all
girl.
fucked in the head.
Agent described the images to others on the call, but didn't share them, which would have been illegal. MasterCard told Reuters
They're all,
that its team had one call with a group in which explicit and uncomfortable images
the fucking
were
incest
discussed,
in
but
Britain, man.
said it
Fuck.
could confirm when the
Sorry.
call took place. Afterward,
I'm
the
so
the card
sorry.
company
I had to
requested that
fucking
all
say it,
financial
man.
institutions connecting OF to its payment network confirm the site's compliance with our standards and applicable law, the MasterCard spokesperson said. Well, yeah, that's the general response when you don't want to address the actual issue itself. You just make this very generic statement that every company says on this sort of material. But anyways, each one of them affirmed that status, he said, without identifying the institutions. In April of 2022, the Anti-Human Trafficking Intelligence Initiative, a U.S. nonprofit, published its study which the whistleblower complaint drew upon. ATII, whose work includes identifying illegal content online, reported that it had discovered numerous OF accounts with indicators of CSAM or S trafficking. The indicators included keywords and images found by searching the publicly available profiles of OF creators, said the report. With these methods, researchers uncovered a tremendous amount of troubling material on the platform. The whistleblower said he reviewed the report, which notes the anti-money laundering duties of financial institutions before publication to ensure it reflected industry practice. ATII's investigation was shared with MasterCard and Visa. The whistleblower complaint said the companies didn't respond to questions about the ATII report. ATII declined to comment. So that's pretty much all I want to cover about this potentially very disturbing situation involving some massive corporations with global influence who might be, according to these allegations, overlooking abuse material, targeting children and exploiting children.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't they? Any bad press is gonna fuck up their company.
Absolutely evil behavior. And again, any sharing of this video
Just
very
look at all
appreciated.
the
I think
streamer
this is something that
companies.
deserves a lot more conversation, especially
I'm sorry.
since these reports
I'm
have
being
come
an
out
asshole.
about a month ago, and there's not been a lot of movement about this, and I was shocked to discover this today. And yeah, I wanted to immediately scrap everything else I was doing in terms of content today and instead talk about this, because I think this is obviously something that is very, very important to get some eyes on. And again, these are all allegations, and whistleblower reports and things like that, but it looks very suspicious, I think, to anyone looking at this. And
Oh
given the
no,
track
you
record of
should
all these
definitely
companies
fucking
involved,
hate these fucking
nobody's really
companies.
surprised that a scenario like this might have popped up, and that's really sad. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to share your thoughts.
Right, like how PayPal and Honey and all that shit, right? Yeah, some of these payment processing motherfuckers are shady as fuck. They could just stop. They could just take your shit away from you whenever they wanted to, and they can essentially steal your money. The usual attack normal fictional content. Ignore our IRL child enthusiast content. Yeah, no, right. Almost like your payment processor shouldn't be taking a moral stand on anything and shouldn't just provide a service. I know, right? It's fucking insane. Fucking insane, right? Funny how they allow IRL cheese pizza but censor manga drawings. Really makes you think. Japanese anime art bad. Western OF degenerate material good. Brought to you by the power of DEI. I mean, just look at just look at the Pornhubs and all these. Dude, look at it. If you really think about it, why is it that they're so up in arms about Japanese anime art versus allowing like porno sites to have like payment processing subscription plans and stuff like that? It's a little weird, eh? Why are we being picky now when you guys weren't before? Strange. Strange indeed. They threatened to pull the Japanese market because of anime and artwork. Meanwhile, they're looking at the other direction when it comes to OF. Next time they want to say something about Japan, they are in no position to speak when they are defending OF, the real-life children. Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. This guy knows what's up. I fucking knew it. The normies were all like, it's a good thing, and if you think otherwise, you're a pedo. What is he talking about? Normies? What? I feel like I feel like people use the word normies in the wrong context nowadays. Like, what? You mean like fucking retards? You mean like fascists? Like super left and super right people who think anime is made of pedo shit? I mean, just look at Western anime, and that's not pedo shit? Like, what are we doing here? Why are people like this? When it was cartoons, and now when actual real-life kids get exploited, they fucking quiet. Yeah, we live in goofy times, and everyone's a clown. Reason MC, we cannot allow certain R34 sites to use our services due to some of their content to protect our brand. Also, Visa and MC, MasterCard. Yeah. Yeah. A bunch of fucking hypocrites. And yet they are fighting Japan over drawings. It always ends like that. Yeah, so it's okay to buy statues of nude people with your credit card, but it's not okay to buy drawings of nude characters. Come on, let's not do this slippery slope bullshit. This is why you can't trust fucking companies, because they wield their arbitrary rules like a mace, and they'll just hammer it down on people who they just disagree with. Right? They don't want to say we have the right to refuse your service to you because we don't like what you're doing. They just don't straight up say that because they know that it would hurt their fucking bottom line. So they just tag certain people only. Fucking stupid. There you go. Visa, MasterCard, companies are evil. Well, I mean, all payment processing, establishments or companies are pretty fucking evil, to be honest. They're annoying. They are annoying. That is for sure. What we got here?
Was part of a fascinating and baffling. In the 1990s, an HIV drug was part of a fascinating and baffling chemical mystery.
Okay.
Abbott Pharmaceuticals launched ritonavir in 1996. It was life-saving. 75,000 people were on it. Magic Johnson was on it. It was a miracle drug. Until June of 1998, when a batch of the drug failed its quality control tests. If you cut a capsule open, you were supposed to get a gel, but instead, they were getting a white paste. So the scientists at Abbott put this paste under the microscope and saw these sharp, needle-like crystals that they had never seen before. They did a bunch of chemistry and realized that these crystals were, in fact, the drug. This was ritonavir, but it was behaving completely differently than ever before. Now, this is bad because solid crystals of ritonavir are completely useless. They cannot dissolve in water, so they don't get into your bloodstream. So even though the crystals are chemically identical to the ritonavir of the past, they were basically not the drug anymore. And then things got much, much worse. After the first batch failed, that production facility could no longer make the original drug anymore. Every other batch also failed. And then things got much, much worse. After analyzing the crystals in the lab, that lab couldn't produce the original drug anymore either. So the company sent some scientists over to Italy, where they had another production facility, to see what the US folks were doing wrong. And that's when things got much, much worse. A few weeks after that visit, the Italian facility couldn't make the original drug anymore either. It seemed almost as if there was some sort of failure virus attaching itself to company scientists and infecting whatever lab or facility they happened to visit. It turns out that what was happening was this. This is charcoal. It's mostly carbon and it burns really well. You know it burns really well. I'm not gonna light this on fire in my basement just to prove it to you.
And recently, Joe Hansen asked if I wanted to burn a different form of carbon, a diamond. Obviously, yes. If you want to burn a bunch of diamonds, you can't just heat them up with a Bunsen burner. You also need to run a stream of pure oxygen over them while you heat them up. So both of these are carbon, but they have extremely different properties because the carbon atoms in each of these substances are bonded to each other in completely different ways.
Molecules of a drug can do the same kind of thing. The exact same molecule can form multiple different crystal structures, and that can give you different properties, solubilities, melting points, even different colors. Chemists call different crystal structures of the same molecule polymorphs. This is one polymorph of chocolate. This is another, or at least it was until it melted all over my hand. This one is better because it's shiny.
And
it doesn't melt in my hand.
in coding languages or in coding, there's something called polymorphism, and that's basically changing.
And it has a satisfying
changing the object into something else.
These crystals that the Abbott scientists saw under the microscope were a totally new, never-before-seen polymorph of ritonavir that the scientists called Form 2. Now, when you make a drug, you usually
polymorph
make it in
is
solution,
and when it is dissolved in a liquid, there's no Form 1, there's no Form 2, there's no polymorphs, none of that stuff. It is just the drug in solution. But to purify the drug, you need to get it out of solution while leaving all the stuff you don't want behind in solution. And the classic way to do that is called crystallization. This is a sodium acetate solution. It's actually a supersaturated sodium acetate solution, which means
this is very, very scientific. Sorry.
Then this water can dissolve. That sounds impossible by definition, but actually it happens all the time. What I did to make this was I heated up the water, which increases the amount of sodium acetate that it can dissolve. Then I dissolved that larger amount of sodium acetate in the water, and then I let it cool to room temperature so that I can do this again. Now, you've seen this before, but what you're looking at here is crystallization. When you add a seed crystal, you are giving the molecules in solution a surface that is already in its crystal form that they can snap to. And as more and more of them snap to it, that surface grows and grows and grows until everything that can come out of solution
It catalyzes.
the seed
it,
crystal that you add is a specific polymorph, and molecules come out of solution by snapping to that specific polymorph. So in theory, you should get back whatever you add.
It's not
Add a
really
seed
a
crystal of Form
catalyst,
1, you should
but-
get back crystals of Form 1. Add a seed
Yeah,
crystal of
the
Form 2, you should
reaction
get back
is-
crystals of
is
Form 2. That is
instantaneous.
how it's supposed to work, and that's mostly how it does work in chemistry. But every time the Abbott scientists tried crystallizing Form 1, they always got at least some Form 2. Make ritonavir in solution and evaporate off the solvent, they got Form 2. Use a Form 1 seed crystal to try and crystallize Form 1, they still got Form 2. Use your lucky Erlenmeyer flask while wearing Victory Red underwear, still Form 2! But where did Form 2 come from in the first place? This is a reference to the television show The Office. Amazingly, it probably resulted from something called heterogeneous nucleation. This is a supersaturated sodium acetate solution, and you already know what happens if I add a seed crystal of sodium acetate. But what if I instead add a seed crystal scientists added it to a supersaturated solution of ritonavir, they got Form 2. That was a drum roll. So the first crystal of Form 2 was seeded by this chemical, and then the Abbott scientists brought it back into their analysis lab. What happened next? We are not exactly sure. Maybe they ground it up in a mortar and pestle, maybe they filtered it through a Buchner funnel, maybe they did something else that would have aerosolized submicroscopic seed crystals, which might then have gotten sucked up by the HVAC system, spread throughout the entire building, and attached themselves to people's clothes, hair, and skin. And then, when those same people traveled to Italy, maybe those seed crystals fell off into the production lines, and that's what caused the Italy plant to fail. And at that point, Abbott was stuck with Form 2, because it turns out that Form 2 is actually more stable than Form 1. But if that's the case, why didn't Form 2 come out of solution first? Like, why didn't the original synthesis of ritonavir produce the more stable Form 2? Well, a German chemist asked this very same question around the turn of the 20th century. Wilhelm Ostwald noticed this weird trend that the least stable polymorph would crystallize out of solution first. Energy diagram. Ritonavir in solution, two different polymorphs, Form 1, Form 2. These little humps right here, this is the activation energy. It's the energy you need to spend to get from ritonavir in solution to
get to
either
that,
polymorph. And as you can see, the activation energy here is lower. So it's way more accessible to get to Form 1. And the reason for that is because Form 1 is
Form 2, you need more
ritonavir
energy.
in solution. That is Ostwald's rule. Now here's the thing. The activation energy over here is way higher. So you could go months, years even, never getting to Form 2, even though it's more stable than Form 1, because the activation energy is so high. But a seed crystal
could cut it in half,
dramatically lowers the activation energy. Now, it's way lower than Form 1, so you're going to go all the way down to here. Form 2, it's the more stable form, and you are stuck with this. Once Form 2 is there. It's ready to seed any solution of ritonavir. This is not the first time that one polymorph has completely replaced another. It has happened before. In one case, scientists prepared a polymorph of a compound called benzocaine picrate. They then prepared a second polymorph by heating up the first one. After they'd prepared the second polymorph, they could no longer prepare the first one. So they cleaned the entire lab thoroughly, destroyed all samples of the second polymorph, waited about 10 days, and then tried again. And it worked. In another case, scientists were working with a polymorph of N4-methylbenzylidine 4-methylaniline when it disappeared. They happened to be switching to a new lab a few miles away, so they hired a new student by phone, prohibited her from ever coming to their old lab or meeting anyone who had worked in their old lab, told her to buy all new glassware and try and make the old polymorph in the new lab. she successfully did. In my favorite case, scientists actually sprinkled some powder of a new polymorph onto an old one and then watched as the old one transformed into the new one within minutes. Imagine sprinkling some diamond dust on some graphite, and then the graphite slowly turns to diamonds.
Diamonds.
That is how crazy that is. Now these were small
Or
isolated
having
incidents,
water
but ritonavir
change
was a
into
big
wine,
deal,
right?
especially that 75,000 people who were on it could have easily been life or death for them. Now luckily Abbott had a liquid formulation, but that tasted terrible, so after a lot of work, Abbott finally was able to make an amorphous version of ritonavir, which is still on the market today. It's actually used as a booster for other antivirals. For example, it's in Paxlovid. Now, drug companies try to avoid this whole situation by doing extensive polymorph screening. They try and find every possible polymorph of a compound before it goes to market. But there's never any guarantee that you find
I've
them all.
heard
So another
some of
ritonavir
these
could
things
happen
from
at
time
any
to time because of fucking some of the science stuff I had to do. I work as a chemist for a large pharmacy, and we had a very similar case just a couple of years ago. Once we had the wrong polymer, we had to switch buildings, technicians and everything. No glassware, no nothing. Was allowed to go in the other labs. I still think it is strange with all the hygiene and safety that there are particles somewhere in the air out wherever that cause every crystallization to produce the wrong form afterwards. Yep. Yeah, that's just what happens. Just one, you wouldn't even think about it. It was something in the air, some kind of small dust particle, and it just ruins everything, right? That's how crazy fucking some of these chemical reactions are, right? Or some of these things are very precise. Smallest thing will fuck your world up. You need a drug to live and suddenly no one can make it because all the known batches turned into goop overnight. Now the reaction to make it just makes goop. I had a new student by phone, prohibited her from visiting the old lab or meeting anyone from the old lab. Had her go buy all new glass. Today, this would be a start of a fake job, bad check scam. I mean, and I remember when this happened to ritonavir. I was a graduate student at the time. I later worked for a CRO, Contact Research Organization, who had people entirely dedicated to polymorphs, deliberately trying to induce different polymorphs of drug candidates to attempt to front-load this sort of problem. I'm not sure I like the comparison of charcoal to diamond, as allotropes are covalent bonds. When I saw that, I immediately began to think of chocolate as an example most people are familiar with, and then you went there. The scientists probably lost their minds trying to figure it out. This is one of the best spooky stories I've ever heard. Yeah. Yeah, that just goes to show, right? A lot of the things you won't think about sometimes is actually really right in front of you. It's just you can't physically see it with your goddamn fucking eyes because it's either a gas, right? It's some kind of a fume that you might not think it's something that will affect you, but it will, right? Odorless, maybe, right? This is the shit you gotta be careful of. Fucking chemicals, man. Fucking science and chemistry. Fucking black magic, man. Fucking black magic.
Davos, Switzerland, the site of the World Economic Forum.
Actually, great breaking news. Trump takes major steps to protect. I think I'm gonna watch this. Is it 11:20? Okay. I think this will be the last video. What is this? The reality of dating good men. Why good men opt out of dating entirely. Uh-oh.
Oh, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well.
Oh, yeah. Taylor the
Yo,
Fiend.
what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on
Goddamn
today's episode,
anime
I
person.
have a video for you here today titled "The Reality of Dating Good Men" by a woman named Courtney Ryan. Now, this woman from memory is a female dating coach for men, I believe.
Oh.
So she gives dating
Female
advice to
dating
men
coach.
to help them get women. I'm always very skeptical of female dating
Yeah,
coaches, especially the ones for men.
Dating coaches, life coaches, what, dietary coaches, all these coaches I don't like, because it's like, you can easily do this yourself. It's just people are too lazy. That's what I chalk it up to. People are fucking lazy.
But we will be seeing what she
Or
has
they're
to
too
say
retarded.
here today. I think I've covered a couple of her videos a very long time ago. So let's jump into this, guys. I'm going to leave a link to the original video down in the description, so make sure you check it out if you are interested. And let's take a listen to what she has to tell us. The reality of dating good men.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be reacting to a TikTok. So let's watch together, and then we'll regroup, and I'll share some of my thoughts per usual. Let's get right into it. Okay, wasting no time, here we go. This is from a TikTok creator with the handle Christina Zozulia.
I feel like not enough people warn you that when you start making the right choice in dating, start going for emotionally available men that are genuinely interested in you and make that very clear from the get-go, it gets a little bit more boring. Dating gets a little bit more boring because it's no longer up, down, will they, won't they, this like chemical, like you're getting rewarded one second and you're not the next. You're getting consistent, predictable behavior, and that to the brain is not exciting. Otherwise, drugs wouldn't be exciting to people.
It's really sad, guys, how so many modern women, they treat dating like it's something to entertain them, like men are just a television, or we're just a movie or something that she can turn on and off, that she
Yeah, I
uses
mean,
for
some women
dopamine.
do think as guys as
Right,
fucking
and this is why
playthings.
many
I mean,
men don't want to participate, guys,
I
is
hate to say it,
because
but yeah, it's
women
true.
are chasing the emotional highs of chasing bad boys who treat them like trash. And so you have dudes out there who are like, well, I'm not really interested in trying to manipulate and stir up a woman's emotions just to keep her interested in me. It's stupid, right? It's kind of like you're trying to entertain a child or something. It's ridiculous. So dudes don't really want to participate in this, and I personally think it's absolutely stupid, guys, that men are
Well, I mean,
expected
they're
to
right.
entertain
They're
women. We're
they're
expected
still
to
in
be
like their
toxic just
fucking
just
elementary,
so she doesn't get bored.
middle
I think a
school
lot of guys are
ideology
completely,
phase or something.
repulsed by this idea, and
Still
the woman
act
on the
like a
right,
kid.
She says, "Hey, listen, this is boring
Act
for
all
women.
dumb.
You're that reliable guy. You're that stable guy. You're the one that represents stability. Maybe you've got a good set of morals. You're a good guy. You're committed. You're consistent. Well, a lot of women consider that to be boring."
Predictable behavior, and that to the brain is not exciting. Otherwise, drugs wouldn't be exciting to people. It's very predictable, smooth sailing, and
What do you
stable.
mean,
And while that's great in the long term because you don't go crazy,
I mean, people
it
just
also
do
makes you
drugs
realize
to
that,
chill
I'm not gonna have
sometimes,
these,
you know?
quick dopamine hits in like a kind of toxic way, but that's
You're
the reality.
toxic.
If you want to continue dating high school level emotional maturity men, then go for it. Keep going for
What the
those men
fuck?
that don't
Aren't
choose
you the
that
same
text you every
maturity
5
of high
days.
school women?
Or
Like
you
what?
can go for the guy who will respond to you as soon as he sees his message. Like, it's
Just by the way, a lot of women won't actually do this, even though it's very clear, like cut and dry. You could lay this out and say, hey, obviously it's better to choose the men who are consistent. They simply don't care, guys. You can lay things logically out to a lot of modern women in a way that makes sense, in a way that, this is going to be a better option for them. But women don't make these decisions oftentimes based on logic.
I mean,
Right,
some women
they
pay
don't
for the
go,
dumbest
oh, well,
things
that makes a lot
possible.
more sense. Why don't I do this instead?
They pay it
No,
on
many
fucking
of them
expensive
actually just end up
makeup.
40 and alone with a bunch of cat spies. They
Weird,
don't
like,
listening to men. They
cashmere,
don't like listening
fucking,
to
like,
logic. They think
Gucci
that they can
bag,
go party
right?
it up, everything's going to be fine. and
Weird
she'll
fucking
eventually get
slipper,
her
right?
Prince Charming, right?
All
She'll
kinds
be
of
able to
weird
lock down
shit
that bad
sometimes.
boy, and everything's going to be smooth sailing for her.
And
But that's not how it
handbags and
works.
those
These women are
fucking
completely
clothes. It's
unsuccessful
like,
at
oh
locking
god,
down the men
fucking
that
put a bullet in
that
me.
they want, the men who are highly emotionally stimulating.
At this point, you might as
because,
well
again,
just
these men
fucking
simply don't give a
bankrupt me.
damn.
Jesus.
Or you can go for the guy who will respond to you as soon as he sees his message. Like, it's not like, you know, like it might be less exciting, but you know, it's in the long term, it protects your heart, your brain, your nerves.
Starting off 2025 with a positive little video here, love to do it. So let's start by addressing this idea that dating emotionally available people feels boring, right? I've talked about this in other videos if you've seen them. If you haven't, it's something that I've discussed quite a bit on this channel. But what's really happening here is sort of a recalibration of what you value in relationships. I think many of us have been taught to equate chaos with passion. We might have even experienced this in our childhood and our upbringing, which then reflects into our adult relationships.
I don't know about that one, man.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
You know,
I don't know what the
chaos
fuck this
is
lady's
somehow
talking
love
about.
or something like this. Like again, this is something that women actively choose.
This is why you do. This is why you don't take advice from a woman telling you about how to get how to get a girlfriend,
go out here and they pick feminine women because we were,
or how to be an
we were just
attractive
convinced to pick
boyfriend
feminine
from a
women. It's like,
fucking from
no,
a woman.
Men go out here, they chase feminine women. Modern women go out here, guys. They chase toxic. You know, they chase toxic bad boys all of the damn
Yeah,
time.
you
know, you can sit here.
yeah. I mean,
you can make,
humans
like, 30
humans do all
videos
kinds of
explaining to
stupid
them why
shit,
it's a
and
terrible
they all
idea.
fall in
They're
for
still going to
all.
do it, and
They
that's not
always
because
fall for
society
the same
convinced them
trap
to do it.
sometimes.
That's simply because they want to do it and they choose to do it. Like, I personally, guys, am of the belief that we should treat these women like adults. They are fully capable of making their own decisions. If they want to go out there and hook up with some bad boy who takes 5 days to
I
respond
mean,
to
if
her,
they want to hook up with
who
some,
am I to deny
I
this? Who
mean,
am I
yeah,
to
I mean,
tell
they
this
made
woman
their
what
choice.
to do?
Right?
I'm not interested
They
in
fucked
telling
up.
women what to
I
do.
mean,
They
I
can
mean, I
make their
shouldn't
own
say
damn
they fucked up,
decisions.
but
But to say, like, you know, women have been convinced
they
that
made
chaos
their
is
choice.
somehow
The
something to be
relationship
desired. It's like,
didn't go well, and well, yeah. If the relationship isn't doing well, it's not a good idea to stay in a broken relationship. It's probably best to get the fuck out.
like, no, there wasn't a lot of convincing that's required, to be honest. Women just chase the dudes who are highly attractive. The men don't want them, and that's it. That, you know, that's what it is.
It's this in our
I mean, you also have the right, the Hollywood way of some of those people, doing some shit, doing some weird shit.
Then reflects into our adult relationships. The highs and lows of someone who is inconsistent can feel incredibly intoxicating, like a roller coaster that you just cannot get off of. But let's be honest, is it truly excitement? Is it truly intoxicating and exciting? Or is it just anxiety dressed up as a thrill? Stability might not necessarily give you the same adrenaline rush that, you know, inconsistent behavior does, but it offers something far more meaningful, and that is...
Wait, women get an
peace.
adrenaline
Peace
rush from inconsistent behavior? Oh,
friends is never boring, and I think you realize this more and
Are
more
women that
as you get
deranged?
older.
Yeah, I mean, I think
do women get dopamine hits when people take damage? I'm so confused.
I can get behind that. Women certainly.
Man, I
guys,
thought
like,
men
I
were
think Courtney is
fucking evil.
accurate.
Like, holy shit.
Women, when they're younger, they tend to prefer more of the chaos. But when they realize that they
Yeah,
need a
women,
good man to
I
pay
guess,
the bills,
I guess
then they
women
will start
love
to
fucking
prioritize stability
chaos. I guess women
This
love
is
seeing
absolutely
like
what
cat
they do, guys,
fights and
you know?
men getting
Some
beat the
23-year-old
fuck
woman,
up.
you think that she really gives a damn about the stable, good
Yeah, I
man
thought
who
I
will be
liked
there for her to
UFC.
care
Oh
about
my
her?
god.
Typically not, guys. Typically, women start to value stability when they realize that they don't want to work anymore. When they realize that time is running out to have a family, or time is running out to, for example, get married to the point where your family won't roast you. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's starting to look like the weird woman at the family lunches. Okay?
Yeah, I mean,
Women certainly do start to prioritize the stability when they get older. but
families
here's the
will
thing,
do what
they're still
families
not
do.
attracted to it.
They rag on you.
I did this in you know, a video that's going to be released around the same time as this guy's, but many women, they're marrying for
They
the
rag
stability,
on
not
you
because they're
until you
interested in
wanna
the dude.
punch 'em in
They're
the
still
face.
interested in the guy who just provides them with a bucket load of chaos. They're still interested in the guy who fills them up with the butterflies and the anxiety and the roller coaster of emotions and things like this, the contrast in her emotions. So I find this interesting. I think she's right, but it still doesn't matter. You know, like, oh yes, the women, they crave more stability when they get older. It's like, yeah, of course, they don't want to work. They need to have kids if they want to have kids, that is. You know, they need to get that stability because they're running out of time to get that stability, you see?
But it offers something far more meaningful.
Well, I mean,
isn't
isn't there a
peace, my friends?
Right there. All right, there's a opportunity window for everything, right? The what did the Overton window, right? There's an Overton window for everything. Right, and right, you miss it and you're fucked, right? It's gone. You miss it and it's fucking gone, dude. You miss that opportunity, you will not get that opportunity ever again.
The truth is,
sometimes
emotional availability
maybe
is
maybe there's a new opportunity down in the future. Who knows? But are you going to rely on that kind of chance?
For them to miss you or to
right, if you see
if
you see the opportunity right in front of you, why not just take it?
It's the quiet thrill of feeling valued, respected, and seen, not just in fleeting moments, but consistently.
Do you guys, let me know down in the comments, do you guys think that modern women respond to consistency and respect and all of this and consistent validation?
I don't know what fucking
honest,
women
guys,
nowadays
I don't
want.
think they respond to that very well at all.
I've been out of the fucking
they might take it because it benefits them.
Dating game for a while.
At the end of the day, they're still not attracted to the man who's giving them those things. And I've said this before, guys.
People
you can be a
sketch
great
me out
man,
nowadays.
You can have fantastic morals. You can be.
I think everyone's a fucking commie.
But that doesn't guarantee that the woman's going to be attracted to you at all. Oftentimes, these guys who have these good qualities, who represent stability, who, you know, are very consistent, these quote-unquote boring guys, as the woman at the beginning of the video called it, these guys get opportunistically used by women when women run out of time. You know, like, again, the women never were interested in these guys. When she was like 22, guys, you know, when these women are out here partying, 22 years old, they don't give a damn about the stable guy. But what happens
well, I mean,
is they need to
what they
start
care
caring
about
later
is
on
racking up
because
body
they need
counts.
something from him. It's not because they actually care about the man. It's not because she's attracted to the guy and so on. It's because she needs something out of that man in that particular moment.
And let's not underestimate how transformative this can be for your mental and emotional well-being. Another thing that she didn't mention in the video that I think is important as well is actually understanding why.
Oh, I wonder how many body counts
who
that
bring
fucking
chaos
one
and
lady had,
dysfunction
the one that
into
was
your life
talking.
consistently.
Probably
I think
over
this
10,
is crucial for
maybe
breaking
20.
these toxic patterns and creating
I'm
healthier
sorry.
relationships.
God
Often
damn
this
it, I'm
attraction
so
stems
sorry. I'm
from
being a
deeper
douchebag.
unresolved issues. Maybe it's a need to prove your worth, a fear of stability because it feels unfamiliar, or even past experiences that conditioned you to mistake inconsistency for passion, which I think is what a lot of people do. Actually taking the time to reflect on these patterns and getting to the root of why you tolerate or even seek out dysfunction is the first step, in my opinion, towards
You want to
growth.
fix them?
I mean, the way I view it, man, is women tend to respond to this.
I mean, some people have that, oh, I can fix you mentality. It's like, dude, what? No, you can't fix these people. You literally cannot fix this broken human being. They will fuck you in the butt, dude. They will stab you in the back, literally. They will get this fucking knife and it's just hi-ya! Right in the back. And that's it. That's it. That's game over, man. It's game over.
It's crap. The more her father was absent, to be honest. This is why it's so dangerous as well, you know, when there's so many broken families out there and things like this. Women
They'll
who
fucking
come from
do it
broken
in your
families
sleep too.
absolutely gravitate towards this crap
They'll
more.
do it when you're
But
away
still,
too.
I would say that the average woman does have a craving.
They'll do it
for a bad
when
boy,
you
to be
go
honest.
to the store.
I don't think
They'll
that
get a
really
quick
changes. I
fling
think
from
this slider
one of
kind
their
of gets
dudes.
turned up to
They're
max
they're
the
texting
more
behind
a
your
father
back.
figure was absent, for example.
God damn
But
it!
here's the problem I have with this whole.
I mean, I'm not
healing
kidding,
journey
but
thing that women go on, guys, is again, it's like an
God damn
opportunistic
it.
healing journey. It's not. You know, it's not actually
Some of these women belong to the
it's
streets.
just rationalization for now going out there and securing the guy who's actually going to give them a stable relationship. Because you see it all the time, man. Women will get to like 27, 28, and then they'll start rambling on about some healing journey that she goes on and knowing what she's worth and all of these
or sometimes they try to get yeah, you try to you get the oh, you're not the baby daddy, it's someone else. It's like, what the fuck? Right, that shit is like, okay, can't get into that trap.
But really what it is just she's hooked up with a whole bunch of bad boys.
You know, like like the Dr. Phil shit and the Judge Judy shit.
In choice that she makes to herself as some sort of
you are not the father. Or Jerry Springer. It was Jerry
just
Springer. There we go.
Up with a bunch of different dudes. It's
fucking Jerry Springer shit.
Are you subconsciously trying to fix someone because it makes
You don't want to
feel
be
good?
on
Or
any
are you
of those
chasing the
shows with your
emotional highs
fucking
of unpredictable
relationship, that's for sure.
because stability feels, as she said, boring to you. I think by identifying these tendencies that you might have and actually addressing the underlying causes, you can make more intentional choices and open yourself up to relationships that bring peace to your life instead of turmoil.
Yeah, you don't
and
even want to
anxiety.
put your relationship on
By
the
the way,
fucking
guys,
YouTube.
I think I speak for a lot of guys when
I
we
hate to say it, but
we
some
don't want these women.
Some people will fucking just torch a relationship on the YouTube. Just look at some of the people that torch fucking Cardi B, Taylor Swift. I torched Taylor Swift on across the base. But yeah, a lot of these famous people get fucking torched. Yeah, then you get the hate posters of couples too. Like, you guys are a crap couple. Shit like that. It's like, okay.
Who are attracted to this.
All right, people, calm the fuck
You know,
down.
because oftentimes what they've done
Two
is they've
people
gone
just
out here, they've hooked up with a whole bunch of bad
posting
boys,
their
and
relationship
now
on the
they're like,
interwebs.
Okay, I'm ready for a stable relationship now. It's like, no, but by the time you get to that point, it's just completely over, guys. You know, because the women feel like they're settling oftentimes. Oftentimes they come with a whole bunch of baggage. Maybe they come with a child or two or something like this. You know, usually they're attached to some previous
I hate
dudes
to say
as
it,
well
but if
who are guaranteed still.
If you're gonna date someone if you're gonna date or get married to someone that already has a kid, I salute to you. That's a lot of hard work, and I don't even. To me, I don't even know if that kid is probably gonna even listen to you in the future.
Still following her on Instagram, and things like this. There's just a lot of things that make this the short end of the stick for men. You know, like these girls who have been attracted to the bad boys and go out there and keep hooking up with them. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to do that, that's on their own.
You know what I'm saying? Keep
that's
doing
to
what
their
you're
own
doing. Like,
detriment,
no.
right?
You made your bed, now lie
Right,
in
yeah.
it, okay?
Those are self-inflicted
I don't think
wounds.
the guys who have good morals, who are good men, who are stable and consistent.
People love
when
giving
they deal
themselves
with women like this,
self-inflicted wounds.
oftentimes these guys just get treated like complete trash. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man.
Almost like
these
a daily
guys, they're like,
basis.
wow, I finally got my chance with the girl. You know, she's done her healing and she's mine now. We're going to have a great relationship. These men learn the hard way that no healing has actually been done. Really, the woman has just coped herself into believing that she deserves X behavior now, and these are the things that she needs, and so you're going to be the man to give it to her. But oftentimes they're still attracted to the previous guys, they're still attached to them, they come with a whole bunch of baggage.
I hate to say
so
it, but
I think the women should stay out
you
there
can't-
chasing
you
the
can't
bad boys,
sim-
or just leave the guys who are good
just
alone.
you can't
know?
do it.
Chips that bring peace
Because once you
to your
start
life
simping,
instead of
once you
turmoil
lower
and
their
anxiety.
guard, they're
Now,
gonna
what I
fucking
really
peg
loved about
you,
this
and that's
video
it. You're
is
on
how
her.
it highlighted the long-term benefits of choosing someone who is emotionally stable. It's not just about avoiding toxic patterns, it's about protecting yourself, your heart, your brain, your nerves, everything. The reality is, love should
Yeah,
not
don't
be a
let
source
that
of
don't let that
confusion
fucking
or chaos.
don't
It
let
should
that
be the
woman
safest
tell you to
place
fucking get
in
your
your
tubes
life.
tied,
when
and
you
then
choose wisely,
she's
you're not
gonna
giving
leave
up
like 2
excitement,
months
you're giving
after.
yourself the gift of clarity, trust.
Dude, when I read that article, I was like, "What the
And, you know,
fuck?
guys, I
That's
think this is good
fucked up."
advice. You know, like love is not this thing that's
That's
supposed to be
fucked
some
up,
giant
dude.
mind game where people are getting dopamine hits. Okay, that's stupid. Love is about sacrifice. It's about duty. It's about deliberate commitment to another person. You two are going to build a life together, whether that constitutes a family, something like this. And it shouldn't involve all of these dopamine hits and stuff like this. So I think this is pretty accurate. But the thing is, women are still, they're not going to listen to this.
Honestly,
You know,
it
again,
feels
you can
like
lay this stuff out logically.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these people they're just planning for the short term, right? They're not planning for something long term. A lot of these people that do this kind of shit just either plan for the short term, or as they go throughout the month, right, the months or weeks with their relationship, they start to find out they're not really into them or something like that, right?
You can say to some like 22-year-old, hey, probably wise for you to choose a good man. They're not going to listen.
Or they're
still going to
doing
chase
it
the
for
dopamine.
some kind
They
of
don't
like
care about the
superficial
stability yet.
reason,
Now,
right?
maybe when these women hit like 29,
Whether it's money,
yeah, they'll start caring about stability. But until
the
then,
good
these kind of
looks, or
logical
the
things,
I can fix them
they don't-
attitude,
they
right?
just fly completely over modern women's
Or
heads.
I can fix
Which
their
is
attitude,
the best
whatever
gift
the
of all. I
case
really don't
is.
see a lot of people talk about the realities of a healthy relationship, probably because it's not as glamorous or sexy as the whirlwind romances
Well, I
often
mean,
glorified in movies
a
or on social
relationship
media.
is work.
A healthy relationship isn't always filled with dramatic gestures or heart-pounding passion.
I mean, bro, I
Instead,
hate
think it's
you.
built on
I hope you get
consistency,
fucking
communication,
burnt.
and a mutual respect for each other. But unfortunately, many people chase the excitement and passion, mistaking emotional turbulence for love, when in reality, that chaos often stems from insecurity and unpredictability.
I mean, when we say people here, quite honestly, we're just referring to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes will hook up with women that they find attractive. These bad boys and players,
Yeah, I don't.
you know, they're just hooking up with women that they find attractive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a dude will hook up with anyone they're attracted to. I mean, I would assume that it would be the same way for women. Would it be not?
Attractive physically. And then
Yeah, exactly. Attractive physically.
just bouncing and leaving the situation. The ones who do like this whole dopamine crap, where they try and chase people who are exciting and stuff, this is absolutely.
Look, don't get me wrong. I understand the whole dopamine thing, but you do give off hormones sometimes. I feel like people forget about it, right? We are creatures in a sense. We are animals. Everyone gives off hormones. Everyone's a hormoner. Yeah.
Absolutely women. Like, I don't know dudes who are out here looking for women who are exciting, you know, or she just provides an emotional roller coaster. Like, imagine your friend comes to you and says, yeah, you know, this girl, I'm super interested in her because...
I mean, there's actually a whole science behind the whole chemistry between the female and the male sex, and actually finding a suitable person. Yeah, there's actually a scientific thing behind all that, and it has to deal with it sounds kind of weird saying it, but the pheromones and shit your body gives off, and how you view the other sex through your own perception.
You know, she just provides me with
there's a whole
wild
science behind
emotional
it.
experience. Like, you look at your
it's
friend,
confusing.
like, what the
It's
hell
very
are you
scientific.
talking about, my man? Now, women probably don't use this exact language, but you see my point. Dudes are not out here chasing like the highs and the lows and the dopamine.
Literally,
and the
it's
excitement and crap like this.
attraction-based.
The dudes are just out there being players.
All
They're
it
hooking
is.
up with women that they find attractive, and that's really as simple as it gets.
Yeah,
This
that's all it
constant
is.
pursuit of the highs
Yeah, I
can
mean,
be
it should be the same
leaving you
for women in
emotionally
a
drained
sense.
and chasing something
Attraction-based.
completely unsustainable. True love may feel quieter, but it brings a sense of stability, peace, and trust that no fleeting thrill could ever match. It's not about these grand moments, it's about the everyday reliability that builds a foundation for something far more meaningful and lasting. And yeah, maybe to some people that can feel boring, but I think it's the ultimate goal that everyone should be striving for. And if it is something that feels boring to you, potentially getting to the root of
What? Where are we getting this boring con? What? I'm confused.
why it feels boring and healing that about yourself.
No, please don't.
Yeah, like what?
Guys,
What the fuck are you talking
The women
about?
who make these terrible decisions, I just really want to stress that no, please continue on the path that you're going on, and just get to 30 and be alone with the cats. Everybody will be happier.
Yeah, just be a
maybe not the cats and the
crazy
woman,
cat lady.
but, you know, there'll be a lot of guys out there who will be able to preserve their sanity.
As you
probably
can see,
preserve some
I
assets as well,
am
maybe
30
save
and
their
don't
kids being
and
stolen
not in
and
a
stuff
relationship.
Like this. Because, guys, by the time women
I'm
get
just
again,
talking
by
a
the
bunch
time
of
they get to
fucking
this whole healing
smack.
journey thing, it's a complete write-off. What's going to happen is any subsequent man is usually going to be treated like dirt. He's going to get a fraction of the.
Oh yeah, I get treated like dirt every day.
Put into the
I treat
bad
myself
boys.
like
it's
dirt.
so crazy to me,
It's
guys,
great.
how like the men who provide the most, so whether that be stability, finances, long-term relationship, commitment, consistency, emotional support, connection, whatever language you want to use to describe it, okay, the men who actually put in the most, they are actually usually the ones who get the least amount from women. Like they get the least reciprocation, they get the least gratitude, they get the least intimacy, the least interest, the least attraction, despite the fact that they invest the most. So I would actually.
So
rather
you're
that
saying
these
if
women
the
who go out
lady
here and
gives
break
you
themselves
blue
by hooking up with
balls,
a bunch of bad boys,
you're getting the
I don't
least
think that these
inter-
women should re-enter the dating market trying to seek out the good, stable men. I think
You
the good,
ladies,
stable men,
you done
I
fucked
hesitate
up.
to
You,
use
you
this word,
gave them
guys, I
blue
really
balls.
do.
You
But
fucked
they
up.
probably
See what you
deserve
done?
better than this quality of woman, to be honest with you.
See what you did?
Like, absolutely. I think the dudes would be far better off if these
Why
women just,
are you ladies
just
like
stayed in
this?
their lane of hooking up with random dudes and just left it at that.
You potentially getting to the root of why it feels boring and healing that about yourself. I think another thing to consider here is that stability isn't necessarily the absence of passion. I think it's the foundation for it. When you're not constantly second guessing someone's intentions or trying to decode their behavior, you create a space for deeper connection.
Yeah, I feel like
Genuine
people. I think people just read too deep into it, right? I think people start getting their fucking start getting their imagination all up in their fucking feelings sometimes, and it just really does bad work for them.
Intimacy, and yes, excitement, the kind that lasts because it's built on something that is real, not
I
these
mean, just
fleeting
look at some of the
dopamine
women
hits.
who want the like
Just
the
by
50
way,
Shades
again,
of
this
Grey
is the kind of
shit or
stuff,
the
guys,
or
where,
the
like, women in
Twilight
their early 20s and
bullshit.
stuff, they'll get excited trying to decode a man's actions.
Oh, goodness.
Can you ever imagine a dude getting excited about trying to decode what the hell a woman's doing?
Yeah, no, thank you, please. I don't want
Oh
to do
my
that.
goodness, man!
Right,
I
I have
couldn't
a
think of
hard
anything
time
more
enough
like that.
decoding
Like,
what
I
I
would
have
just
to do
rather
for
spend my time doing anything
fucking
else.
school and work and
You know, oh,
whatnot
this
for
woman said this, but
programming
maybe she
languages
secretly
and
means this, and
projects
I'm
and
gonna
shit.
write
No,
my
no, thank
journal
you.
about it. Like, who the hell cares, man?
What are we watching here?
I don't know
Stuff
how
about
people, specifically
relationships.
women actually have the energy to
How women are
go
rude
through
to
all of
men.
this crap of like insights.
But the reality of dating good men. Why good men opt out of dating entirely.
Excitement, highs, lows.
Basically the whole men going their own way stuff, right? That sort of ideology path.
Blah blah blah. You know, I think that this probably ages the women.
Basically
dramatically,
like
man.
red pill content.
You know, like they probably go out here, they stress themselves out,
Or
they're
red pill
analyzing
shit.
the dude's every move. Like, I'm too old for that, guys. I'd rather, I don't know, I'm probably going to end up being like that.
Are you in a
6-year-old dude who
relationship coming? I
engages
think you're in a
bird watching
relationship.
or something. I really think that's
Probably
going to be
doesn't
my
apply to
future,
you.
man, because I
Yeah,
just
like
have
the
no
passport
interest in
bro
crap
stuff,
like
yeah,
this.
stuff like
Let
that.
me know down in the comments if this is you as well. I think a lot of guys are the same way, man. They're not interested in this dopamine excitement crap. They just want to be left the hell alone. At a certain
It's
point.
on the same spectrum.
It's sustainable and it's reliable. Ultimately, as I've said so many times on my channel, I think choosing wisely and prioritizing emotional availability is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make, if not the most important decision.
Israel, there you go.
I agree with that. I think women would benefit greatly from making a logical decision as this, you know? I think women would definitely benefit greatly by choosing the men who were interested in committing to them. The fact that this is even, like, has to be said is crazy, by the way.
Will ever make, because it's saying I value
I mean,
myself too
honestly,
much
it
to
probably
settle
just
for
depends
crumbs.
on where you
It's
live too.
prioritizing your peace over these temporary highs, and it's
Do you live
understanding that
in
love is not
commie
supposed to keep you on
California where
edge.
you think
It is supposed
everyone's
to
a
make you feel
fucking
at
stuck
ease.
up
It is supposed to bring
blonde
peace
broad?
into your life. The thrill of stability is
Even
knowing that
the
you are with
brunette
someone who
broad.
chooses you every day
God, no
without
thank
these
you.
games or guesswork involved.
I
So
don't
all
trust
that to
any
say,
of
I
you
think this
people.
video offers a wonderful piece of advice and something to think
Some
about.
of you guys will
and
probably
really
try
serves
and
as a
chop off
much-needed
my dick or
reality
try
check
and
for both
poison me
men
like some of
and
those
women.
other women
It
did
shifts
to
the
their
focus away from these
husbands.
intoxicating, short-lived thrills of toxic dynamics, and instead
Unfortunately,
highlights
the
the
last
value
month in
of
Thailand is
emotional
when we
maturity and
made
stability
started.
in relationships.
Just by the
talking.
way,
Oh.
I want to say this
shit.
again, guys.
Wow.
Me personally, I don't really know dudes who are interested in chasing emotional
whoops.
thrills out of women. I don't think this is something that men particularly engage
Yeah,
in.
gotta
There might be a few
gotta seal
out there
the
that do
deal
this crap.
quicker.
But for the most part, this just sounds like something that
Can't
women
wait.
do, man. You know, like again, this is not like a hobby that men enjoy, right? Being the
It's
differences
work.
that women display in their behavior,
Having a
like, in terms of
relationship is
toxic
work,
crap,
man.
is not going to help you land a man. You know, chances are, if
You
you're,
got-
if you're
you
more
gotta keep
toxic,
people
if you're
happy.
more emotionally manipulative,
It's a lot of work.
What's going to happen is the dudes will just end up dropping you, particularly the men with options. They simply don't have time for this, and a lot
Yeah.
of guys can spot this crap from a mile
I
away.
mean, if
Especially
it,
these
even
days.
I mean, also if you're a fucking new chap, right, starting his life, and you're trying to get like a new job and shit like that, and yeah, maybe a relationship isn't a good time. She expat, and I'll be traveling again in March. Oh, for sure, for sure.
They're like, oh, she's playing her manipulative games. They don't find it interesting. In fact, what a lot of guys will actually do to women who try and pull these mind games and this toxic crap and everything, men will just they'll either throw the woman away completely altogether.
Yeah, I don't know why
or
some
they'll see what
women
you're
do the
doing
whole
and they'll
mind
just put you
game
in the
things.
hookup box only.
Or
This
they,
is why so many
they do
women
the
guys they cry and
you
complain that
gotta
they fail
you
to
gotta
secure
guess
to get
what's in
commitment
my
from men, and they have no idea why.
what I'm
It's
thinking.
because dudes have placed these women in the hookup box and
what?
they haven't. The
Why do
women
I gotta
don't even
play the
understand that.
goddamn guessing game?
You know,
Fuck.
yep, she's hook up, she's
I don't got time
recreational
for
use
this
only,
shit.
not relationship material. She keeps trying to do all this manipulative crap to me. You know,
Yeah, it's like I
just
don't,
hook up with her
I
and
don't
then
want to play
bounce
these games
because she's displayed
I got
that she's
enough
not a
games to
stable person.
fucking deal with
I
fucking
think this
work
is what happens
and
to women, man.
school.
They get like intimacy zoned, you know, or they just get completely ditched. I
don't
don't
want
know
no
what
games.
dude is
No
out
more
here
games.
chasing emotional thrills from women. This is just a one-way ticket to get yourself discarded.
And instead highlights the value of emotional
Yeah.
maturity and
I mean,
stability in relationships. In a world where unpredictability and the chase are
for
often
me, it's like,
romanticized, this message and the topic in general
I've
can
seen-
remind us that the healthiest relationships might not be the most
too much
dramatic,
much of the
but they are the most
sciences
rewarding for both
have
men and
plagued my
women.
brain.
It's a call to sort of reevaluate what we prioritize in our connections and making sure
I
that we
became
choose
fucking
respect,
jaded and
consistency,
toxic
and
as
peace
fuck.
again over these fleeting dopamine hits. And just
I don't know what dude. I
Like
really
every
wanna
time,
stress this, guys. I
every
don't know
time
what dude
someone
is selecting
says a
these things to
sentence, I'm
begin
like,
with, man.
I'm
Usually
like,
what happens
are
is a
you
man will
trying to
select
say
a woman
something
because,
suspicious?
you know, hey, things seem to be going
I
well.
don't
She seems
fucking
interesting
trust
enough. She
you.
seems kind. The man will select the woman. You know, it's not based on these like dopamine hits and stuff like this. I'm just talking about your average man. The average guy doesn't have a whole lot of different standards and stuff like this, but certainly I would say it's usually a disqualifier to a dude. If you're like trying to get emotional highs and thrills out of the guy and stuff like this.
choose respect.
I mean, some
consistency,
women
and
do
peace,
want to get that
again, over
high,
these fleeting dopamine
right? They
hits.
want
And
they
just
want to
get a
get
bit of
that
science
fucking
involved here, if you weren't already convinced
that
you need
weird
to be striving for a healthy relationship, being in a healthy
right, that weird. Some women want that weird fantasy of being in a like one of those NTR relationships, right? It's like, Jesus Christ, you women are fucking nuts.
relationship can quite literally activate your
Or like the women who want to date like serial killers and shit. It's like, holy fuck, man. These women are actually psychos.
body's repair genes. It can reduce inflammation, it can promote healing and longevity, and also improve your mental health and your decision making.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if my audience is going to particularly care about this, right? Here's the thing. A lot of guys are just not interested in relationships these days, man. You can like try and sell it to them and say,
Well,
oh,
I mean,
look,
I'm
you get
just
these
not
health
in-
benefits and things like this, but
I'm not
the
in a
truth
short.
is a lot of men
I
have
don't want a
just
short-term
already
relationship.
completely checked
I
out. They're
think
not
that's
interested.
my
They watch
issue.
this stuff for the entertainment.
I'm one of those people
they're
who
not-
are in
they're
it
not
for the
trying to be
long
sold
haul.
on a
And if you're not in it
relationship.
for the long haul, what's the point?
And also, just by the way, as far as I understand about a lot of these health benefits, I could be wrong.
And
but I
right,
think
a
that,
lot of
you know, I've seen people
relationships
try and
don't
reference,
last
like, oh,
that
married
long.
men
I
tend
hate
to
to
live
say it, but
longer.
it's like-
But in my head, I'm just like,
Well,
well, aren't the women just
I
choosing
pulled up
dudes who are
the
like more
statistic.
likely to live
It was like,
longer?
what,
They're just
70
choosing the dudes who are a bit healthier,
It
who
was like
represent
68%
stability,
of
health, and
men
otherwise, usually, on average,
like
more than the bad boys anyway.
break up the
You know, bad boys
relationship
prob-
based
bad
on
boys are probably
whatever
out there doing,
whatever
you know,
whatever they
intoxicating
feel
themselves and doing
makes
Lord
them
knows
break
what
up.
substances. So of
And
course,
then
the
the
married
other
guys are
for
going to live
women it
longer.
was like what
Makes
60
sense, but
60
I don't know about these health benefits. They
it
could
was
be
like
true. They could be
60
false.
something. It was
But I don't
lower.
think a lot of guys who are. I don't think a lot of guys are
Wait,
going to be sold
it was
on a
like
relationship
70% for
or
men.
trying to go out
Yeah,
there
it
and
was like
pursue one when they've
70%
been
for
treated
men or
like
something, and
absolute
then like
dirt for so
60
many years.
something
And
percent
the
for
selling
women.
point is like, oh, you'll have reduced, you'll have reduced inflammation and your repair genes will be activated. I think a lot of guys feel like they're repairing just by being out of a relationship.
Healthy relationships are so important for your health, and this also includes having a strong sense of community. I know it might sound a little bit silly, but the reality is that love and connection are essential.
Look,
for
if
your
you're
health.
in a
So again,
relationship and both of you aren't on this fucking same page, then why are you in that fucking relationship? That wouldn't make any sense. This just goes to like how people do like open relationships. It's like, Jesus Christ, you guys are brain. You guys want to have an open relationship where you guys are like cucking each other? It's like, what the fuck? Jesus. Also, you might get fucking STDs. Careful.
if you weren't already convinced to get to the root of your issues,
At that
and
point,
start to
it's like, oh
prioritize
god,
healthy relationships in your
fucking
life,
walking
I hope this video
biohazards,
is the
man.
push that you need to get started.
Yeah, that too. You got fucking walking biohazards sometimes because they don't fucking take care of themselves sometimes. It's like, Jesus.
I can just imagine, guys, there's some dude listening to this video while he's fishing right now. And he's like, no thanks.
Yeah.
You know? I need to
Yeah.
prioritize
After hearing this, yeah, I think I'm gonna stay out of the market for right now. It doesn't seem like the market is. I should put myself on the market right.
relationships with women for my overall health.
Yeah,
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I
can just
think
imagine
for
so
my
many dudes
overall
coming to that
sanity, I
conclusion.
think
Like,
it's
again,
best that I
it's
stay
hard
away.
to convince men to go out there and date and find wives and all of this crap, when oftentimes it's just really not. It's not worth the effort for men. Overall, decent video, I would guess. In terms of the advice, don't choose people who are.
Right, you have the whole Gen Z situation too, where it's like some of those people are cooked.
Toxic. Don't choose people who are just emotionally stimulating because you think they're exciting. I think this applies more to women.
You gotta
Men
watch
aren't
out for
here
the
typically
gold
doing this
digger,
crap.
dude. There's so many fucking women you gotta watch out
I
for.
also think the women are not going to be inclined to listen. The women.
You
who
gotta
are
watch out
engaging
for
in
the
this
gold
behavior, man,
diggers.
They don't care. You could
You
make
gotta
a
watch out for
sensible,
the
well-rounded
crazy-eyed
video that makes
ones.
100% sense. And they're
You
still not
gotta
going to
watch
listen.
out for
But guys,
the
we're gonna be leaving
super
it there.
obsessive
Don't forget
ones,
to
right?
leave your
There's so
thoughts and your
god.
comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves,
Oh,
and I'll
boy.
be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.
You gotta be careful of like the super religious ones. Oh, it's just like, oh fuck. Fuck me, man. There's too much I gotta be careful of. You gotta be careful of like the super protective family ones. It's like, oh god, I might get fucking stabbed or shot. If something were to happen to one of their to their right to that person, they'd come running in with a fucking gun or some shit, and that's it. Or you got the relationships where the girlfriend has maybe an ex that would still fucking is obsessive. And it's just like, okay, I don't want this life. This is getting out of hand. There's too many instances of this shit happening. This is getting out of hand. Too many cases.